Well, welcome, dear listeners, to the final week of the Stage Selects Game of the Year deliberations. I'm Julian Titus.
Oh, I'm Justin Ham. Hi. I guess I wasn't sure if we were making introductions again. I'm sure people are sick of hearing me by now.
Probably me as well. But
That's great.
We have to introduce ourselves because friend of the show, John Gholson, our announcer, was off from announcing duties because this is not live. This is pre-recorded.
Sure.
But we do have friend of the show, John Gholson, here as a panelist for this auspicious occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need me to announce everybody?
No.
Okay, are you sure?
It's okay.
All right.
This is going to be a lot, so you know, save the pipes.
Okay.
And last but certainly not least, returning champion, ready for revenge. We have Westen of Big Nerd Gaming.
Big Nerd Gaming, Art of Vengeance. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Westen, I think, wasn't quite prepared for how this goes down last year, but now he kind of knows how the game is played.
Now he knows.
We had to give him a chance to kind of come back and you know, see what he can do.
It's a great year for it because I'm not near as passionate about anything this year, so it's great.
Same. He might be able to really just
you might be able
turn
to
this
just
list
run
into an
the entire
abomination.
thing, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think I asked Julian the other day. I was like, do you know if Justin played this game? He's like, probably not. So
Probably not.
it was And Roger.
Very possible.
Did you play And Roger? I need to know. I guess I could have messaged you.
What's it called?
And Roger?
And like AND?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I had never even heard of it. So
Glad
no.
I didn't play it.
Yeah. Is it a PC only thing?
Probably. It was like an hour and a half.
I don't.
Visual novel.
I don't have my PC where I'm at right now, so that's probably why I didn't even see it. So yeah,
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Once again, as with the last 2 weeks, spoilers ahoy. Especially this week. This is the one for all the marbles. So spoilers are on the table. They will likely be necessary. Like, we're not going to go out of our way to spoil shit, but there may be times where they're necessary for us. John wants to spoil shit.
Yeah.
But there may
Wait
be
till you
times...
hear how MLB The Show 25
Oh man, I
ends.
can't. That's going to be wild. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
There may be times where, in order for us to kind of make a plea for a game, we might need to spoil some like really important shit that is the reason for us wanting to fight for it. But once again, as in previous years, how this is going to work is we will nominate the games that we want to nominate and then go around the room and start cutting games until we have 10 left. And then once there are 10 remaining games, we will talk about putting them into an ordered list until we come to the Stage Selects Game of the Year for 2025. I have already nominated some games, so I will list those off, and then I will go around the room to get additional nominations. These are my nominations. Keep in mind, these are in no particular well, actually, the real order that these are in is like order that I played them in. So it's not, don't take this as an indication of like my personal like opinion of them or anything. This is just how they ended up on my list for the year. So my nominations are Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, The 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, The Midnight Walk, Death Stranding 2, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Promise Mascot Agency, Wanderstop, Mario Kart World, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Chrono Gear, Hell Is Us, Silent Hill F, Dark Deity 2, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and Dispatch.
Okay.
Justin, what would you like to add to the nominations?
Hades 2, that wasn't on there, right?
Right.
Ghost of Biote, that wasn't on there, right? I'm going off of memory. Blippo Plus, put it on there just so I can eliminate it pretty quickly, but I still want to talk about it. And
Sure.
no, I'm not going to nominate that because what's the point? So yeah, that's fine. Okay. That's all I
Okay.
got.
John, what would you like to add to the list?
Do I have to have 10 of them?
No.
No.
All right, here's what I want to add. I want to add ball X pit, ball pit, ball times pit,
Ball pit.
Times
ball and pit collab. I don't
Yeah.
know what X. I don't know how you pronounce X.
It's ball
That's
pit.
like a new
It's,
thing.
it's,
Ball
it's in the
cross
trailers.
pit.
Ball
Is
pit.
it a
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm nominating it.
Okay.
I'm nominating Avowed. I'm nominating Sniper Elite Resistance. And some of these others I won't get any support for, so I think that may be.
Well, I
it.
mean,
you know,
if
I'm
you
going
want
to
to
throw.
talk, if you
I'm
want to
going to
talk
throw a
about
bone. I'm going to throw a bone to Outer Worlds 2.
okay,
But it also is one of the more disappointing games. So it's like I really liked it, and it was like one of my favorites of the year. But it was lockstep with part 1. In fact, there's things about it that I didn't even like as much as 1, and I know we're not getting into that right
interesting.
now.
Yeah.
But I still think Outer Worlds 2 deserves to be in the pool.
Okay.
So we'll
Sure.
throw it
Why
in the
not?
pool. But yeah.
All right, Weston.
I have a fair bit more, but
That's
I-
fine.
I figured you would.
I keep it to games that like I gave an 8.5. There's a lot of good games this year. I will nominate Citizen Sleeper 2,
Okay,
The Drifter, Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream, Doom: The Dark Ages, The Seance of Blake Manor, Rematch, Hollow Knight Silksong, everyone's fave.
Yep.
Split Fiction, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, and
That's not a game.
it's a great game.
You're just slipping in. Now you're just slipping in made up titles.
that's
Hold on, I'm
you know,
looking
I
at
should
this
have done
thing.
that. Actually, that would have been great. Just to see if anybody catches
Malfour's
it.
Revenge.
Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know, right?
Baking
There's
with
so
Clara
many games.
2.
There's so many games on Steam at all times. Nobody's gonna question it. They'll start looking.
No,
I can't find anything about this.
This
like,
looks cool. The art style's cool. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. Never heard of this before now. This looks neat.
It is. It
There you
is.
go.
And Discounty. I tried to,
Discounty?
yeah, like discount and then a Y.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, some of these I've never heard of.
That's
Weston, so-
fantastic.
You know, the Steam Deck was a big addition this year. Those PC only indies, man. Such a nice addition
Yeah.
to my repertoire this year.
This year was like the most PC games I've ever played in my life because of the Steam Deck, for
There you
sure.
go.
Can we throw the altars on here?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised that nobody did. I just didn't finish it, so that's why I didn't put it on there.
Yeah, I didn't finish it either. Do we have to finish these?
Not necessarily. My thing was just I kept mine to the ones that I actually really cared about talking about, and I didn't play enough of the altars to
Okay,
like want
we don't have
to
to
be
put it on
passionate
there
about it.
because I didn't.
It's about the discussion, right? So like,
Yeah, but you played longer than me. So if you go, oh, I didn't play it much, I'm going to bat it over to John. I'm kind of like, well, I played it less than you, so
I mean, I think it's worth talking about though. So like,
Okay.
because I thought I was like the only person who played it, so that was the other thing. So okay, we're adding a last minute nomination from John with the altars, and so now we have our list.
Mhm.
And I think we'll do it like we did it last week, Justin. So we'll start with you.
Oh God.
And like I said, we will just go around the room. We'll start cutting.
I just have I'm going to
and
go ahead.
well, I was going to say, like, you know, if you have pushback against the nomination, that's totally fine. Just, you know, that's where the discussions come in, right? So just because we're offering up something to cut does not necessarily mean that it's going to be cut right then.
Yes.
So Justin, fire
Oh
away.
yeah, well I already said it, and I say what I mean. I would like to cut Blippo Plus. I will sacrifice my own thing to the wolves here.
can I at least know what that is?
Yes,
Same.
I was going to tell you what it is. No
Okay.
problem. It is a weird FMV game that they made for the Playdate. The little thing that had like the fishing reel on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's and all it is basically is just channel surfing, and they have a little story, but there's a bunch of dumb little shows like The Quizzard, and there's Clone Schra, there was Blinker. He had a whole arc, lots of stuff going on. It was an entertaining little thing. It was kind of fun to watch, but it's barely a video game. You just watch the channels and then move on. Once you've watched them all, they give you the next set of channels to watch, I guess, and then you watch those and you move on. There's nothing really happening on it, but it was a neat little thing that I spent a good day doing and enjoyed my time. And so that's it. If it's very strange. It's pretty funny most of the time. I guess an interesting story kind of didn't end the way I would, I guess, hoped to, because I wish there was a little more of an ending, I guess. But Blippo Plus was fun for what it was, and I just wanted to give it a little bit of a shout out. And it's Blippo with a plus sign after it.
That's what I figured,
yes.
but I was just, my fingers were flying.
Oh, you're good.
And it's easier. Honestly, the way that I type, it's easier for me to type out the word plus than it is for me to actually put the icon for plus.
It is. I totally get it. No, 100%. And I guess I was just saying that for anybody listening out there. Like, no, it's with a plus sign. It's a fun little thing. If you ever see it on sale and you just want to watch a dumb thing, Blippo Plus, try it out. It's kind of entertaining.
It may be stretching the definition of video games as far as it can go,
and that's why it's not going any further than right now. Like even I'm like, this thing, it's barely a video game. It really is. Like it's if you can even call it that. But it's neat that it's out there, and I think they did a cool job putting it on something other than the Playdate, because you can switch back and forth to the Playdate version at any time to see like what it would have looked like if you were playing it on that. It was kind of neat. So yeah, we can go ahead and cut Blippo Plus. I'm happy to do it, but I'm happy I got to talk about it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about these recordings, is that you get to hear about some games that you may not have heard about and may want to add to your list after hearing about them. Westen, your turn.
Always tough. You know, so much going through my mind after last year. I'm trying to think of the proper way to
Westen, you have to start incorporating the strategy of nominating a few things right up front that you know are garbage.
Yeah, that's smart. You're so smart.
Yeah, like aren't going to hold up, and then you can just cut it immediately, and then it feels like you're doing something. Dude, it's my strategy the entire time.
I'm year 2, and I still haven't figured this out. This is bad.
You're doing okay. You're doing all right.
I'm just gonna cut my number 3 game because it's not going anywhere. It's Rematch, which is the soccer multiplayer game from Slow Clap, the developers of Sifu.
Oh, right.
I don't play sports games. I very rarely get stuck into multiplayer games. And I mean, I think really just Slow Clap's, track record, and it was on Game Pass. That's kind of the only reasons why I gave it a go. And man, first multiplayer game since 2021 I put over 50 hours into. I had so much fun with this game. It's an arcadey soccer game, has like the Rocket League wall, so you can kick the ball around like that. I have spent time playing indoor soccer in the past, and like the physics of the game feel unbelievably, obviously not 100%, but it feels like playing soccer.
I have an important question.
Yeah.
Was there walls that you could check people into in the indoor soccer?
Yes, but it's it doesn't really happen that way.
That was my strategy when I played actual indoor soccer, was to just play it like it was hockey.
Yes.
It didn't go over well with the other children, but that's what I did. Okay, I just wanted to know.
I respect the grind. But I mean, I just had so much fun with this game. And I think the thing I like about it the most is it genuinely requires a lot of teamwork. Like, you play 5-on-5. Like, if you're just trying to dribble down the field and do everything yourself, it's not going to work. Like, you have to utilize your teammates. So if you get a good group of people who are passing the ball, and like, there's just a level of teamwork that you don't see in a lot of multiplayer games, and I really appreciated it. I had tons of fun with it. So it's actually my number 3 game this year, which is not something I would have expected.
Cool.
I knew you were really high on it, and I'm honestly surprised that it didn't gain more traction, because it seemed like it was poised for that type of Rocket League success because it was on a platform where you could play it for free. It came from a studio that people had already loved their last game, so it had some buzz going into it. I know that, well, I believe that there is an appetite for arcade sports games to come back. So I am kind of surprised that it didn't seem to really gain any traction.
Yeah.
Also, it's a soccer game, and I know soccer isn't as popular here, but it's popular everywhere else.
I have another important question about what you're talking about. Was it were they licensed teams and or players?
They have a couple licensed players, but no licensed teams. So
that's that. Sports fans are terrible sometimes, and that's all. They just want the licensed stuff. They want to play their fantasy league and stuff like that. And it's
not like back in the like 8 and 16-bit days when you could get by with just like the sport itself.
Much different audience now. Much different. So
the fact that you have to play with people like that know what they're doing, I think was a detriment early on because you'd play with people that don't pass the ball, right? And then that was a big problem. There'd be people who wouldn't want to play goalie because when you play goalie, it's like a new game, right? It's its own thing,
right?
It's a lot of fun, but there was some bugs early on. Crossplay wasn't there early on, so there's been some balancing tweaks and stuff. I won't be shocked if one day it like goes free to play or something and catches back on once they have it fully ready to go. They had a couple like maybe not enough game modes, but like the core stuff was, I thought, really, really good. Like it was that perfect mix of arcade but realistic. Like it wasn't outrageous, but like when I was D'ing up on somebody, it was kind of like you stay in front of them, you poke at the ball, and if you poke and they kind of pull away at the right time, then get past you, like kind of like playing real soccer. So I really enjoyed it, but I know it's not going to get traction on this list, and that's
okay.
Fine.
All right. I will press backspace on rematch.
John Gholson, over to you for your first cut, sir.
Do I have to cut one of mine?
You don't have to.
No, you don't necessarily have to.
You can go after whatever you want to go.
I didn't realize if that was the case, I would have loaded up the bottom half of my top 10.
I know I'm revealing my hand a little too much today, but that's fine.
I can tell you who doesn't need us. Clear Obscure Expedition 33 doesn't need Stage Select Game of the Year award. Like they don't need it. Do you know what I'm saying? They don't need it. There's like silence from you guys.
I mean, I'm gonna have to oppose that one. I'm sorry. I agree. It does not need the exposure.
And okay, this is the trap that Westen fell into last year. It's not about what other people, it's about our list, right? Like, fuck everybody else, right? So, it's not about the perception of this or like this game.
If it's been vetoed and it's staying on, then it's staying on, and I'll move on to another one.
I find it awesome that like you went for that one first. Like
it's a ballsy move, really.
Because honestly, like I almost said like, okay, let's just go ahead and move Claire Obscure over to the keep, like it's going to be on the top 10. So let's just go ahead and
I had this
table
problem,
it until
this is like my existential problem from when I was in the Austin Film Critics Association, which is like we would get together and it would be like, oh, the best movie of the year is, I don't know. Like 1 year it was Boyhood, okay? And like Boyhood at that year was like a hit, like a big hit, and it won an Oscar. And it not only won Best Film from Austin Film Critics Association, it won Best Austin Film. So it dominated, but it was like, maybe that's a bad example. You end up in a place where it's like, when I looked at the AFCA, I would kind of go, what are we here for? Because we're not New York and LA and we're not the Oscars. And my thing was always coming back to this idea of like, there's a certain level of movie where it's like, it doesn't matter if we say, oh, you were awarded the AFCA Best Film of the Year, when it was like,
look, nobody listens to this show. These awards don't matter to anybody but us.
I know.
Right? So
I know. Okay, all right. I'll take it back and I'll let it live a little while longer. Somebody can kill it.
Let it go.
Somebody can kill it later, and I'll say Dispatch. And the reason I'll say Dispatch is because it is a great IP. It is not necessarily a great game, It is a wonderful IP. It is a nice experience. It is a good story. It is like playing a living comic book. I don't know that I find it that much of a game.
Interesting.
So if we're talking game of the year, that's one that I have played that I can look on this list and go, yeah, I don't know that I find it a game. I find it like a piece of storytelling IP.
And I mean, you're not wrong, because like what I found out after I finished it was that it started as a pitch for an animated series that then didn't get greenlit, and they converted it into a choose your own adventure type game.
I love it, but it's the least game on the list.
And the parts that it is a video game, it isn't super great. So I don't know. I don't know though.
I like it. You know, I may sound way more harsh on it than I intend to, because I didn't like the team.
Sure.
But I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I am rather indifferent to if it makes it to our top 10 or not. I expected it to be on the list, but if Westen and Justin don't have like a passion, like if you don't have like feel particularly strong about it.
Yeah, Westen, what do you think about that one?
It's my number 4.
Okay.
So I mean, I'd like to keep it.
I'm kind of in the same realm as he is actually on that. I'm not ready to cut that just yet.
Okay.
God's coming in hot though, man.
He is coming in hot. I have so much respect for
Here's
this.
the deal.
It's great.
I've only played like 8 games on this list, so I can only cut the ones that I've played, right? I can't go in and be like,
no.
all right, we're getting...
Actually...
Well, but I don't know what the drifter is, so I can't say get rid of the drifter.
Hey,
so
do it.
No, but that's you can, because you...
Like, if Weston has something that he's passionate about that's low, that I've never heard of, over Super Mario Kart Universe, what is the name of that game? Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
If, like... It's sort of like... I'm not going to go in with a machete to stuff that I've never heard of that could be great. So I kind of have a problem doing that just for the sake of doing that, just to make sure something gets cut, naming something that's like,
that's where the discussion comes in. That's why I like this format, is because then we get to discover things that we might not know about. Although I do think you just stumbled upon something that's a really easy cut.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, well, I was saying it for a reason, but I'm afraid to say it because somebody will defend it.
No.
And then we'll move on to another one. Yeah, I don't know, man. If it's my turn again,
yeah,
it's still your turn. It's not your turn again.
You're doing great.
I'm doing terrible.
You're doing great.
Then it's like I don't know that Mario Kart World is different enough. Other than it just being bigger. Isn't it just Mario Kart but bigger?
Yeah. I felt compelled to give the Switch 2 a bone, and Mario Kart World is I played that more than I played Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is to say that I played Mario Kart World for about 3 hours and I played Donkey Kong Bonanza for about 45 minutes. So that's the only reason that I put it. I was like, I should put a Nintendo game on here, right? Like, it's weird to not have anything even on here at all.
And was Metroid's ineligible? Kirby's ineligible?
I don't remember when that came out. I think it actually would be.
Yeah, I think it was November. I think it was November.
Yeah, but like I didn't play it.
But Metroid is not.
No,
Metroid is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird year, because it's the first year that we've done this. Like, all the games that came out between the first of the year and Thanksgiving are eligible. And then moving forward for our game of the year, it'll be from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving every year. So that way, you know, we don't like having to like try to cram in a bunch of games that came out like right before we were recording. And, you know, Justin and I are very strong about like, you just finished it. Like, you know, you're still in that like honeymoon period with it. And maybe you'll cool down, you know, on the rhetoric after a couple weeks or whatever. So that's why we decided to do it this way. But I'm totally, Mario Kart World can,
if there's no objections, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Played it for 20 minutes when I borrowed my brother's Switch 2 to get through Bonanza. It was fine, I guess.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, it's fine. Mario Kart World, decisively fine.
It's a beautiful game. It plays really well. And I think the design of the tracks is actually really cool. I personally do like the way that you kind of drive from area to area and it's like one continuous thing. Like I know a lot of people didn't like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's neat.
But like it didn't hold my attention long enough to even like get like to complete each of the cups, right? Like I did like the first like 2.5 or so, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. So yeah.
Right.
All right. So over to me. Oh boy. I think I'm the only person who played this, and as much as I adore it, like there's easily 10 other games on here that I'm way more passionate about, and I don't even know if anybody else played it. The Midnight Walk. Really stylish little, it's not even a platformer. It's really just like a little puzzle adventure game, right? You're trying to take this little cauldron boy to the top of the mountain to reignite the flame during the Midnight Walk, and you encounter a lot of weird characters and creatures, and you kind of solve problems in different regions, and you have a house that walks that kind of is your safe space in between areas. It's very inventive. It's very cool. I'm glad that I played it, but I really don't think that it hangs here.
I have no objections to this. It looks like a Tim Burton joint, and God bless that. I watched it and it was like, yeah, that's neat for someone. That someone was not me.
Right.
So yeah.
And Westen, did you even touch it? You're the only other person I would have thought that might have even looked at it.
No, I think it was kind of like, I think it was only a couple hour game, and it was like they were still like charging pretty decent price for it, and I was like, I'm okay. So I didn't touch it. So works for me.
Yeah, I think it's like around a 6-hour game or so.
It's like a game that like you buy on sale and like a pretty deep discount or something and go, oh yeah, this is kind of neat. And then, probably never think about it again other than when you're doing Game of the Year.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So we're cutting Midnight Walk. Got it.
Cutting Midnight Walk.
Pressing
and then
backspace.
back over to you, Justin.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
I personally think there's still like a lot of easy cuts on this list, but that might just be me.
That might be just you. I don't know. I'm gonna do a little feeling out here. Weston, how strongly are you on Split Fiction? I don't know.
It is my number 6.
Number 6. Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed. Okay, so I'm not going to go after that now then. Okay, then in that case, what the fuck is The Seance of Blake Manor? It sounds like a visual novel.
It is a...
You say that like you don't play mad
I
visual
love
novels.
visual novels, but this really sounds like a visual novel. I was just like, is this a visual novel? I have to know.
It's like a mix of Knives Out with Rise of the Golden Idol and I guess a little bit of Blueprints, and then it's got the supernatural stuff too. It's
sure.
Really cool. Stage select Kryptonite, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's a really cool detective game. Someone's missing, you go into this manor, you have to figure out who took them, what happened. So you talk to everybody there. There's a bunch of like mini cases, and there's a lot of like individual character arcs, and you solve these main missions, and that gives you details about the culprit as you go.
Yeah.
And then you're also like going into people's rooms, talking to people, figuring things out, and you discover things about them, so you can kind of X them out and figure out who did it. Great story. Really cool game. Yeah, it's I'm fine with cutting it, but it's
okay. All right.
It's a neat game. Very neat game.
Okay. It sounds neat.
The art style looked really cool, but Yeah, the Blueprints comparison is the thing.
Well-
And thank you for not nominating Blueprints.
Well,
I
he
didn't
hated it. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Yeah.
You were actually one of the few people
Yeah,
this
he
year that were
really
like,
did not like that, and
No,
I recalled that because I thought the same thing, and then I was like, oh right, no, Weston hated that game. I remember he was like, oh, thank God he didn't play it. And like,
Blueprint.
Yeah.
The only reason I compare to Blueprints is you're exploring a manor, and there is a time
sense.
mechanic. So instead of like just the clock ticking, every time you investigate something, a minute passes by, basically, which was one of my few like annoyances sometimes. Because like, say there's like 5 letters on a desk,
Right.
like I gotta investigate all the letters, right? And so I waste 5 minutes. Maybe one was worthwhile. So you do kind of figure out over time. Okay, I'm not gonna investigate every time I see stationery, because it's never. Every time I saw stationery, I was like, oh, there's writing on here. Maybe there's a letter, but no, it was just
right.
stationery. So eventually, I stopped investigating that. I stopped investigating
Right.
every painting. So you figure it out.
Yeah.
But there was a couple things with the time mechanic I didn't love, even though it does. Like, there's certain events that so you have 2.5 days to solve this case.
Yeah.
And there's certain events at certain points. So it's really interesting. It's really well made. Definitely a lot of respect for that game, but I played a lot of great games this year. So yep.
Yeah. And I'm not a huge puzzly guy, like same thing with Justin.
Yeah.
So
it depends. I like a mystery, but I'm bad at those kinds of games. Like Curse of the Golden Idol, I was terrible at, and
it is easier than
frustrated
Golden
with-
Idol, like
Okay.
a fair bit. Like, it's more like there's an element of deduction, but I feel like it's more about thorough exploration than like
Okay.
actually figure. Like Golden Idol, straight up, like you got to figure some shit out.
Yeah, you gotta.
yeah.
It's
And-
kind of wild.
Yeah. But no, it's really cool. And man, the story was a lot better than I anticipated. And there's some individual
Okay,
story.
yeah.
I'm not like, I don't really care for supernatural stuff, like the ghost stuff,
Sure.
but there were some really cool arcs, and they interwoven in really well. I like a lot of emotion, everyone there, or a lot of people there have like their own trauma. Obviously, that's why they're going through a seance, because they have their own shit. And there was a lot of really deep character arcs that like had some pretty wild conclusions. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool.
all right. Well, Weston, back over to you.
I'll cut Doom: The Dark Ages.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which,
Really?
yeah, well, it's not in my top 10.
Okay.
I did enjoy it, but
Yeah.
Okay.
it's my second.
I didn't finish
Oh, you
it.
didn't okay.
I only played the first level.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. It's not that I didn't like it. It was one of the I'm really weird where I will install and start a game at like 10:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I do this. And so I will play it for a little bit and be like, okay, it's bedtime. And then when like the next gaming session rolls around, I haven't played enough of it for it to be like, oh, this is the thing that I'm gonna like play, right? So and I think that's probably what happened here is I was probably in the middle of something else.
Mhm.
It might have been Expedition 33, actually. That feels like around the same time
Might have
frame.
been, yeah.
So it might have been something like that where I was playing like a much longer game and I intended to go back to Doom and I just never did. And I probably won't now because I'm dropping Game Pass like after we wrap up the
Oh, there
year.
you go.
It is cool though.
Yeah, I was skeptical, on the new mechanics, and I actually really liked them. Like I liked the shield thrust is so fun. The counters,
Mhm.
the counter's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff there. I think as the game went on, the levels are much more open, so there's a kind of a sameness, and they're a lot more generous with the ammo. So like, it's not like the past Doom games where you really have to use every weapon. Like, I was able to get by in a couple weapons, which is fine, but I feel like over time it's just all my encounters were kind of playing out a little too similarly in a way that the first two Doom games, Doom 2016 in particular, like I was doing something different every fight, I felt like, because I was out of ammo on this one or whatever else. So but yeah, it's a lot of stuff I really liked about it. So impressive work and a lot of brave design decisions in my opinion, but that's kind of how they do things. They are willing to take some chances, but it was a good game. It was my number 4 for combat this year. So I forgot to start busting out my random ranks. So yeah.
Yeah. Weston loves ranking things.
He does like to rank.
It's my gimmick.
He just sits at his desk ranking.
That sounds like something else, but you know what? Whatever.
He's just ranking it. Weston, that should be the segment on your podcast. We're gonna rank it. We're gonna rank it good.
I'm sure you'll say that one day when you're on it.
There you go.
Yeah, I haven't been on it yet though, so it's already like 5 episodes in, just haven't even been asked.
Wow.
So I don't know. You've been on what, like 5 of our shows? It's fine. John,
it's a monthly show.
Back over to you.
It's a monthly show, man. Come on.
That is true. It is a monthly show.
I'll say The Alters because not only did I not finish it, but I had to restart it 2 different times. So as much as I found the game fascinating and the gameplay loop was interesting, the way that the story was told was really interesting. There's a lot of really unique factors to it. Ultimately, I feel like it would be easy for me to say that my inability to penetrate the gameplay on first blush is my fault, but I think it's the game's fault because they don't really, you kind of don't know that you're doing it wrong until you're sort of into it. And then you kind of look back and go, oh, I didn't really do this correctly. And that's a game thing to me, not a me thing. And so because I had to do that twice for The Alters, as good as it is and as interesting it is, that's the one that I think I would knock out.
I kind of feel the same way. I had put it down for a while, intending to go back, and then when I picked it back up, I was like, I kind of remember what I'm doing, but then as I was kind of taking stock of what I had done, I did have that feeling of, oh, I think that I've been doing this in the really wrong, inefficient way, and I think that I needed to be working towards this area of the map to get more stuff. And there was also a thing where the big objective that I needed a material that I hadn't seen yet, and I didn't know where to go for that. And I was like, oh, I guess it's over here where I haven't been, but I hadn't been looking over there yet. And that was kind of frustrating. I love the concept, and I'm really impressed with how different the Yans are. That's pretty cool. Kudos to the voice actor for actually, wait. It's not the same voice actor, is it? Don't they have different people playing the different versions of Yan? I don't think it's the same guy doing
It's the same person because that's why people were giving it buzz for best performance because it was one guy. From what I've heard.
Okay. Then yeah, kudos to them for being able to play so many different or different iterations of the same person.
Yeah, Alex Jordan plays 11 versions of the character.
That's pretty rad. Yeah. It's one that I might go back to one day, but I don't know when. Back over to me. Yeah. I think there's too much support for that one. Oh no, I've got an easy one because I'm Justin. I think you're in the same boat here. Wanderstop is a very pretty, very interesting little cozy game that kind of failed at what it was attempting to do for me personally.
Yeah,
I love Boro. We gave Boro.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere. It's probably an honorable mention for me when all is said and done, but it's not on my top 10.
It's on mine just because it's one of the few of games I think I maybe finished 10 games this year, so it made it on kind of by default.
Right.
I'm not particularly, resistant to that. So,
Weston,
I know played it, so
it's my number 10. But that's not high enough for me to say I'm fighting for it. But yeah, I mean, despite so many great characters this year, man, Boro's still sitting at my number 3 this year. I love that guy.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I just thought it's not really the kind of game I feel that I would always love because I do like direction. I like goals, and the game very outwardly tells you don't always have to have goals. But I played the game in a way where I always had goals because I didn't want to wait for the dishwasher 2 minutes if I
Right.
didn't have clean dishes. I didn't want to have to wait for a tea leaf to be ready. So I was like always so on top of like having stuff ready, which kept me engaged. I did enjoy the story. I thought there was a point halfway through where I thought they could like really go in some wild directions,
Yeah.
and they didn't. They were very measured, which maybe fits the themes better, but I felt like they really set it up to like really subvert your expectations, and it doesn't. Which is fine.
No.
Yeah. With the exception of the businessmen arc, which I do feel is almost reason to play the game by itself.
That was fun.
But
I also had like a huge problem with like just some of like the things that the game is telling you that this game is all about, and then like, yeah, but we don't have like enough. Like the only things that stay when the seasons change are your photos, and you don't have enough of them like places to put that stuff to actually save it all. So the things that are important, it's really weird. I felt like it could have used like just like a photo album to put some of that stuff in, because like that businessman arc, you get a ton of like really stupid ass like boardroom posters and stuff from that, and they're all kind of comical in their own way, and I was like, oh, I'd love to, you know, go back at the end or something and look at all that stuff, but I don't have enough frames here, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, it's a neat little game. I really respect what it was going for, and it hit me in the feels to some degree, but I don't feel particularly strongly about it. So yeah.
Yes, John.
No, it's Wonder Stop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm really glad that I played it.
Yeah. Same.
I thought the ending was great. I love the way they did the
really
credits.
liked the ending too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there was a couple fun arcs. The couple Oro, the grandma character, is really fun.
Right.
There's some cool moments. Music's nice. Visuals are nice.
Yeah. I agree.
Writing's pretty good. Like, I thought it was really good at everything, but it wasn't like blowing me away in any capacity.
That's kind of it.
Really, really well done in every regard. Really respect it. But yeah, I'm fine with it.
It can go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, I'm not ready to fight anybody about that. One person in particular. I already targeted Westen once. I don't want to do that again because then it just feels icky to me. All right, Julian, I feel like this is some weird surprise you have on here, but what I vaguely remember you talking about Chrono Gear. So
you're coming for my anime waifus.
Yeah.
Okay. No, honestly, I'm surprised that it made it this far.
I was like, I kind of half recall him talking about that game, but like, I don't remember. Like, I feel like if he was really into that, unless he like played it and just didn't say anything because he's like, oh, wait till we get to the end of the year, I'm gonna go in on this fucking Chrono Gear shit and nobody's gonna see it coming. Because like, I would love that. I would love that surprise.
That was what you did with Bellatra last year.
Yeah,
Kinda.
well, I mean, I played a lot of Bellatra.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, Chrono Gear is that fan-made HoloLive game starring Oro Crony from HoloLive English Promise. It's a surprisingly excellent action platform game in the vein of like a Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Like that's really probably the closest comparison that I can make to it. Excellent level design, surprising variety of mechanics, like right up to the end. Great graphics, great animation, and then if you are a HoloLive fan on top of that, because that's really the reason to play it. But I do think that it's a game that stands on its own.
Sure.
But if you are a fan of HoloLive, the characters that they put in there, the little references, the nods, the really like heartfelt like exchanges between people who are no longer there, especially people who left after this game started to be created, right? So stuff that wasn't intentionally like poignant becomes poignant because it's like, oh man, like all these people aren't here anymore, but
Yeah.
they're here in this game, and it's like they kind of it's like they get to stay together in this game world, which is like really special. But it's not even on my personal top 10.
Oh,
I
well,
just
there you
think but I did want to talk about
Okay.
it because I think it's a nifty little game, and it has no right to be as good as it is, considering what a small team it was, and you know that it's a fan project.
Right.
But it's fun, but totally happy seeing it. Not happy, but like totally fine seeing it go.
But why?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly thought it was gonna be my first cut. Like I thought it was gonna be, what the fuck is Chrono Gear?
Yeah, I remembered the name. I just couldn't remember exactly what it was. So yeah.
Let's just cut Citizen Sleeper 2.
Okay. That might have been the next one that I was gonna ask about, because I remember not being particularly high on the first Citizen Sleeper. I thought it was neat, but yeah, I was not a big fan of it, so I did not touch the sequel because of that.
Yeah, I don't know if you would like this any better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It opens up the gameplay a little more, so you can actually travel
Okay.
around to different planets, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
There's some new mechanics that kind of like what John was talking about with the altars, where I actually restarted my run after 3 hours because my run was just fucked. Like, it was bad. But there was a couple mechanics that just were not, in my opinion, explained all that well.
Yeah, that was like the first one too.
But it's a credit to the game because that's like my worst nightmare. But I actually did restart it, and I got back through it, and I did enjoy it. Like, I was pretty into the story, the characters, the concept of, you know, someone's, I guess you'll say, soul getting transferred into a robot to do like media. It's a pretty cool concept that they can use to explore a lot of interesting themes and existentialism and all sorts of other stuff. Capitalism, obviously. Art's great. And once you get a hang of the gameplay, the dice gameplay, it is pretty fun. It can be pretty intense. It can be a little unfair, which, you know, is what it is, right? It's just kind of how these dice games work. But yeah, I think it's really well done. It's well written, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, it's probably my last place of everything I nominated.
I got you. Okie doke.
You throw dice into the mix, and that just equals bad time for Julian.
It's very. If I remember correctly, the first one was kind of trying to do a little bit of the dice type thing that Disco Elysium does. We're like, you failed it, but you know that's just how it goes, and we keep on rolling here. But it didn't quite land near the same as that game did. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Citizen Sleeper 2. That can go.
All right, John, back to you, sir.
Back to me. I'm gonna cut one of my own. Because although I really liked the campaign, that's literally only 50% of the game. So technically I haven't played half the game, even though I played through the campaign, and that's Sniper Elite Resistance.
Okay.
There's a visceral thrill in like sneaking around and shooting people with a sniper rifle in the way that game presents it. It is a hell of a lot of fun to play. But because I don't play online, I feel like I can't speak to literally half of the game.
I don't.
Because I feel like it's designed for that, right? Like the campaign is like throwing people like me a bone, where the game is really made to be played with other people. Right.
Well, I can't speak to that for this one, but you know, I played Sniper Elite 5, and to me, like that game was about the campaign because it was like this huge open world, you know, kind of tackle these targets as you see fit type of thing.
Shoot them in the nutsack.
Yeah, like, and I think that's the thing. How satisfying are the nut shots in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic. Everything about it, the gameplay and hiding and shooting Nazis in the skull and watching their heads explode is freaking great. It is so good. But it's a short-lived experience. It's a little rough around the edges. It kind of feels like a game that was made 10 years ago. In a way. But the visceral thrill of the like hiding and shooting and finding different paths to do stuff is really cool. Longtime listeners may know that I'm not a fan of stealth games. Sniper Elite is one of the few stealth games that I can actually like navigate through with some degree of competency.
Yeah.
I think because if you hide, there's a lot of places to hide. And if you run and hide, you will hide. Like, they will not be able to find you, and you can kind of reset the scene and go back to what you were doing before. Whereas a lot of games, it's kind of like, oh, they found you, but there's only one box to hide behind. So if you go hide behind it, they're all going to come congregate around that one space. Yeah, I really did love this way more than I thought that I would when it was a Game Pass game, and it was like, oh, I kind of liked the other one. Let's see what this is about. And then ended up playing through the whole campaign. But yeah, it's as fun as it is. There will be another one of these 2 years from now that will play exactly the same, and maybe I'll nominate that one then. So
there you go.
We'll see.
Fair enough.
It's kind of like the sniper version of like a sports game. Like, they just like, oh, let's change the map up a little and just re-release the same thing we've already done for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little tougher now.
It's getting a little tougher now.
We're on one page now, so that's always...
We are on, yeah. Weston, what is the Drifter? There's 2 games on your list that I've never heard of before, and this is one of them.
The Drifter is a point-and-click adventure game with science fiction and horror kind of vibes. You play as... It's actually cool because it's one of those games where the death plays into the actual game mechanics. So basically every time you die, like, the character actually kind of resets to where he is.
I have seen this game.
Yeah.
I watched Nextlander play it once. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so when you die, he resets and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Right.
So yeah, I'll say this. It's one of the most exciting point-and-click games I've ever played because it actually like tries to do almost like kind of set piecey sort of things. Like, most point-and-click games kind of more pleasant and whatever, maybe a little goofy. This one's pretty serious. It's pretty intense in spots, which can be awkward within the point-and-click, frame. But and the point-and-click elements are the weakest parts of the game. It's like, those games all have a lot of backtracking, but this one's like especially egregious.
Oh,
A lot of going back and forth, but the story's great. Like, I think there's 8 chapters. At the end of every chapter, it was like, what the fuck? Like, they do something crazy.
Yeah.
And it's voice acted, and the voice acting's awesome. Like, it's really well done. I believe
I want to check that out.
Australian developers, so it has an Australian vibe. The voice acting is Australian, so kind of I always like that kind of stuff. I like when video games are global and can make me feel like I'm going different places. So not that it's like so Australian, but there's just enough where I enjoy that. So yeah, very thrilling point and click game, really well done story, some fun characters. Like I said, the point and click elements, couple frustrations, but really well done. But yeah, it's one of my honorable mentions. It's not in my top 10, so that is fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think you guys would enjoy it.
You've got it has piqued my interest.
Yeah,
I actually kind of want to check that out.
Actually, hold on. I'm gonna gonna add that to my wish list real quick.
And visually, I mean, if you see it, it's pretty striking for that art style, and they actually have like some good direction. Like, they have some, usually the point and click games just have that sort of zoomed out, like to the side sort of camera angle. It does some like different stuff occasionally, and it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually
wish listed.
I was actually going to say
removed from the list. But yeah, I do that looks cool. I want to check that out.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually doing the same thing Julian did. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think to do that.
Listeners, let us know in the comments if you added anything to your game playlist after.
They probably play more video games than all of us combined. So who are we kidding?
Probably.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never know.
Justin, do you know what your next
it's not on
your
me.
next possible cut is?
Or is it on me? Yeah, it is on me. That was yours. Cut. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, I don't. John, you weren't super excited about The Outer Worlds 2 when you nominated it.
I was eyeing that one too.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. And when I played it for the, 10, 15 hours that I did or whatever, I don't remember how many it was now, was not super crazy about it.
It does nothing better than the original. And I think that was the biggest letdown to me, was I expected that kind of like Fallout evolution or expansion where it's sort of like, oh, it's going to be bigger, better, and better. And it was literally on par. And in some ways, story-wise, and certainly companion-wise, like a little worse.
Yeah.
I think mechanics-wise, it's a regression.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the whole... I spec'd my character for stealth. I took every stealth perk that I could get, and I can't stealth kill a single enemy in the base.
So many problems, like with just I would navigate some situation and talk my way into a place and then get out, and then like it's like the game forgot that I did all that and everybody's shooting at me, and I'm like, that's really weird, but whatever. Man, I didn't find any of the... I only had 2 companions in the time that I was there in the game, and I just didn't find either of them very fascinating at all.
I had all the companions, and I loved none of them.
Great.
So
perfect.
That's a problem for a game like this.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially after the last game where, like, you know, Parvati was like...
she was great.
Just a stellar standout. But there was a couple of other characters that I also really enjoyed.
Yeah, same.
She was just like the far and away my favorite.
100%.
I found the characters in this game to be very similar to the characters in Starfield, where it's kind of like you can see.
You're right.
Like,
no, you're right.
Yeah, there's like kind of you can see what they're sort of aiming for, but then there's no like charm. They're missing emotion.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Yeah.
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 Oh man,
I do like the gunplay a lot more. I think it feels better.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
So,
but it does, absolutely.
I'm a jack of and I really respect the amount of role playing in that game. Like, it's crazy. Like when you're in conversations, how many options there are. But I'm a jack of all trades guy usually. Like, I don't like to specialize too much, and it's like I constantly don't have the conversation options to actually use because I'm too all over the place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've only played the first planet, and I want to go back, but it's just like nothing about the story or the characters really drew me in. None of the decisions in the first planet, like I think the only big decision is like you can destroy one of 2 cities, but I had already evacuated one of the cities, so it was like cool. But then I think I had a skill where I could put it into space, so it didn't matter. But it was like
I did that too.
And then I wanted to kill somebody that I didn't like, but then the game's like, just so you know, now this whole faction will hate you the rest of the game. I'm like, well, it's cool. It gave me the option, I guess, but I don't really feel compelled to keep this playthrough going this way because it sounds like it'll make everything less fun. So I guess I'll reload, like the game's kind of recommending. But so it's like, just as I get back, I could see myself getting more pulled into it just because I actually am really liking the role playing and the shooting. But yeah, nothing else about it was drawing me in at all.
Yeah,
I really liked how you could handle that first big conflict, which is like trying to figure out what you want to do with those 2 towns and everything. Like there's a pretty decent number of ways to do it.
I got locked out of all of that because I thought I was going to be able to just have a conversation with a man, and but I picked the wrong option, apparently. Like, I was like, okay, I tried to keep my options open. I was like, okay, hold on. I'll come back and talk to you. Let me go talk to somebody else real quick. And the guy was just like, yeah, no, I'm done here. You didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, that's not what I thought was going to happen here. So neither of the towns were destroyed. They all just stood just fine. And I was like, okay, great. So whatever. It was a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Saying goodbye to Outer Worlds 2 and saying hello to Westen for another cut.
I think there's only one person here who probably played this. Julian, how passionate are you about South of Midnight?
It's definitely on my top 10. But it's probably on the back half of my top 10. So if we were just talking about like setting and character and story, I'd probably fight a lot harder for it. But the gameplay itself is rather lackluster, and I think it says a lot when a game is like, yo, you can just turn off the combat entirely in the options.
Yeah.
And there was a couple games this year that I played like that. I'm like, understand why this is here, but I don't know what this says about your game. Oh, Death Stranding 2 was one of them also, where you can just like say, hey, just say that I've won this boss fight. Like, I don't want to do it. And it's like, I don't know what that says about how much thought you put into the game mechanics on this combat, guys. So yeah, if I'm the only person here that played it, like I oh, you did? What did you think about it, John?
I think that the style and the story is unique. I think the gameplay was kind of generic. It reminded me of other games that I'd played where it's just sort of like even some of, if not all, because there are some interesting looking creatures, but there's sort of this like, you fight these like, there's like a generic video game tropey, like dark entity soldiers that you fight that's sort of like in a bunch of games that kind of like appear out of the ground and like, kind of move like this with their arms and stuff. And it's like, I found a lot of the combat related stuff in the game, sort of rote, whereas the game had a lot of artistic flair, but the actual gameplay didn't match the level with which so much other craftsmanship had gone into it.
Yeah, I really like the feel of the traversal part of the gameplay. Like that stuff's really good. Combat is kind of leaves like the combat's fine. It reminds me of like a really solid B tier like PS2 or Xbox 360 game, which is not a knock by any means. Like I'm really into that type of game. Yeah, but looking at this list, like I don't think that it makes it further than this, so I'm totally fine with letting it go.
All right, that's fine. South of Midnight. I wasn't sure how big of a fight that one was going to be, so not sad to see that one go.
All right, back over to you, John.
Back over to me. Should I make you choose between the two ninja games? I can't choose between these two ninja games. I feel like it's like 1990 all over again. Like, is it Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden? Let's see here.
We're down to 21 games, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to ask about this yo-yo game. I think it looks visually interesting, but I have never heard anyone ever mention this game ever before tonight.
Yeah.
So I would like to challenge Westen on Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo is my number 8. So I am relatively passionate about it. It's actually one of my it's an indie game I've been trying to promote. It's from a Brazilian developer, but it's based off Italian stereotypes, which is kind of funny. But apparently they're in Sao Paulo and it's a very diverse town, which I didn't know until I looked into it. So, but yeah, it's they call it a Yo-Yo-Vania. It's a like sort of top-down Metroidvania. It kind of looks like a Zelda game, but it leans a little harder into the Metroidvania elements.
I was surprised that because this was one that you like, because I had asked you like, oh, is there any of your darlings that I haven't played that I might want to check out? And you told me about this one. And so I went to go purchase it and I looked at the trailer and I was like, oh, I don't want to play this at all. But I was surprised when they said Yo-Yo-Vania and I was like, it's a Zelda game. Like it's an old school Zelda game. Like where does the search action part of it come into play?
It leans way harder into it. Like there's so many more like kind of hidden. I mean, it has, I guess a Zelda game inherently does have those sort of search action elements where you unlock new abilities and you can enter areas that you missed before. So it kind of has that. But I think it leans harder into it, especially the upgrade portions. There's a lot of different upgrades you can get. Really clever puzzles set kind of in the Zelda vein. Uses the yo-yo really well. The combat's actually pretty fun too. Really solid. It's just like really solid all around. And it's actually got a pretty clever and kind of fun story. Like you play as like a punk kid and you're kind of semi-evil aunt who like runs some corporation, gets stuck in your yo-yo, and it's weird, right? But so then she's kind of evil, but then like more evil people take over. So he's kind of like, but then he's also a Nepo baby, so he's kind of got to help his aunt because that's his free ride, so he can do his yo-yo competitions and stuff. So It's actually got kind of a
Gotta
funny
do it.
story. It's got a lot of funny
We've all been
elements to
there.
it. Yeah, it's just like combat, the exploration elements. There's so much to find. Like the hub, there's like the dungeons, kind of Zelda dungeons, but the hub is like a city, and like cars are actually constantly going by. You kind of got to avoid them. It just handles every element really well. The only element I didn't like about the game was the upgrade system is a little annoying because you enter into these like loan shark contracts to get upgrades, and you have to collect money as you go. And while you're under contract, you actually like will have stat downgrades while you're gunning for the stat upgrade, but you're always trying to upgrade, right? So you always have like some sort of disadvantage. I felt like so I didn't like the upgrade system, but in terms of puzzles, combat, boss design, like level design, exploration, rewarding exploration, it and personality and story and visuals, it does it all, man. It's a really well made game. I really respect it. I don't need to have it in the top 10, but I do like it a lot. So it is my number 8.
So how does this work? Are we at an impasse? How does this work?
I'll let it go. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
But it is a great game.
It sounds good. It sounds interesting for sure for people that are into that. Into yo-yos and Zelda.
And like, look, I prefer overhead Zelda to 3D Zelda.
Sure.
So like, I shouldn't say that like that's what turned me off of it. It was I was just like, with a lot of these indie games that are trying to like harken back to like Super Nintendo stuff, that's a really hard sell for me most of the time because I lived it. And so and I'm not necessarily like, if I'm feeling nostalgic for that stuff, like I'll just go back and play the games that I really am fond of from that time. So that's kind of my thing a lot of times, where I'm just like, okay, like I see what you're doing. It's really cool, but I feel like I've really like kind of been there, done that. I don't know. I know it's like a really weird thing to be hung up on, but
well, I'll say the yo-yo is an interesting weapon, right? Like, and it's used as both a weapon and a traverse. There's a lot of traversal mechanics all built around it. Like you ride the yo-yo. Like there's all the maps like have these little corners. Like when you like against the wall, you'll have a wall, right? And if you hit the wall, the yo-yo obviously hits the wall. But there's these little like kind of diagonal pieces, and if the yo-yo hits one of those, it keeps going. Like it'll keep going in a square or whatever around and hit all the corner pieces. So it uses that for traversal, but it also uses it for combat. So like when you're in combat, you got an enemy like way over there, you can use the diagonals and hit it. So you pretty creative. Like it does different things. It does unique things. Like it cool. It's inspired by that era, obviously, but I think it does enough different where it goes beyond just like, oh, this is Super Nintendo game.
Sure.
Right.
I guess it actually it has like it seems like Game Boy Advance inspired is actually kind of like what they seem to be going for.
Okay.
Sure. All right, so back over to me, and I'm going to make a strategic cut because John said something that scared me. I am going to cut Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you, Julian. I was going to come after that if you didn't, because I was like, okay, no, but John's right, though. You really probably should pick one of these ninja games that you're going to fight for. I'm not going to lie to you. And I, knowing you, I feel like that was the one you were less high on, for sure.
Yeah, it's on my top 10.
Yeah.
At least right now. Like, that may change by the time we come back for season 3, when we actually do talk about our finalized top 10s for the year. But it's an excellent action platformer. I think that it's the Game Kitchen, I believe.
Sure.
Yeah. They kind of nailed like just like a really excellent balance between challenge and fun. The older Ninja Gaiden games were like, I think they came from an era where people were still trying to figure out game design. And so I never thought that hey, this enemy reappears immediately after you kill it if you walk like 2 pixels to the left. I don't think that was like to make the game more challenging. I think that was just a sign of immature game design, as people were learning how to do this shit at the time. But it made for very frustrating games. And also the Blasphemous series, also, very punishing games. And Ragebound has some punishing moments, and they're mostly with the bosses. And there were there were probably like 2 or 3 times where I was like, oh, I think this is it for me.
Right.
Like I think I found the filter, and this is like the time where Julian's time with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound ends. But I stuck through it, and I felt very accomplished that I went through the whole game.
Yeah.
It's very fun to traverse through the game. It's got great pixel art. As John said, there are 2 ninja games on here, and I feel more strongly about the other ninja game on the list.
Sure.
So goodbye, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Okay.
I felt the same. I would prefer to see Shinobi go over Ragebound. Ragebound,
I liked
man,
what I played of Shinobi.
When you're flowing in that game, it feels so good because you one hit kill everything, so you can just like fly through and just destroy. It's like, oh man, when you really have a good sequence, it feels good. I hated so there's the kind of whatever the one hit enemies for sure, and then there's the ones that take more than one hit, and those enemies you're supposed to like kill a small enemy with the right way, and then that powers you up so you can kill the big enemies in one shot too. But every time you come across a big enemy, like there's a lot of times where the power up enemy wouldn't be there, so I'd be like, all right, I gotta wait like 2 seconds for the enemy that I want to show up, and which I always thought that was like something that really killed the flow for me a lot, and then I found a little off-putting. But I like, and
it's also a thing where when you see a big enemy, you know that one of the power-up enemies is en route. Yeah. So, and there's not another real way to take care of those enemies. So it's like
they're not fun to fight.
You already know what you have to do here, and it was like a weird decision where I kind of would have liked to see like more options to take care of those enemies. But if you're really on the spot and you know exactly when that power-up guy's coming, you can fly through those, and people do, right? Like I've seen I think it's like S++ runs of levels, and it's crazy like watching those. It's kind of like a video game ballet type thing, but but for your average player, it's kind of like they could have made this a little bit cooler.
Right.
All right, Justin.
Oh God, I hated them here. Yeah, I'm looking over everything. I'm like, okay, there's a possible fight. There's 2 possible fights. There's 1 definite fight that I'm not sure I'm ready to have yet. Okay, Weston, what's discounty? It's still here. We didn't cut that yet. What is it?
It is my number 9. It is a supermarket sim kind of cozy game. So you end up in this pretty much dying town, and you have to set up this, I compare it to, it's a lot like Stardew Valley, except you play as a JoJo market employee or whatever. Okay. So you're all right. You're the corporation. You're fighting to make the supermarket bigger. So they just give you your supermarket, your back room, and you can organize it however you want. And organization, like just figuring out the way to organize your store effectively is really important, because if you've worked retail, organization's everything, right? So it's like I really took a lot of care into like, all the produce is here, all this, and then my back room, because as customers are buying stuff, you got to go restock, right? So trying to make it so I could do that as efficiently as possible, because if you don't have stuff stocked out that customers want, they are obviously not happy, and that makes you less money. And then, so if it was just restocking and organizing, I think it would have got dull. But then you also are the cashier, and they have little mini games around the cashiering that are actually really fun. Like, there's 2 of them. The first one is you have to manually type in all the prices, and you have a price list next to you. So, yes,
John just recoiled.
So I'm like, this sounds cool. It's like game dev story, but in a grocery store, and I'm nodding along, until you get to the part where it's like, and you have to manually enter all the prices, and I'm like, no.
But as you go though, like I started memorizing them. Like a banana would come through and be like 2, boom, like, and that was making me go fast. And like the actual typing, like it's easy, but it's like it goes to the center every time, and you have to like move the joystick to get it to the right spot. And I think you have to hit a different button for the zeros. So there is like a mini game to it, but it's not like super challenging. But yeah, so over time you upgrade and you get a barcode scanner, and from there you just flip each item a certain way depending on what type of item it is. So it's faster. I was actually disappointed to get rid of the manual button, but then you kind of need it over time. But yeah, you just slowly upgrade your store. Obviously, like you sell more, you can upgrade your store. It's that kind of loop. But I think the extra secret sauce is actually a pretty good story. It, it's it, it it explores like capitalism, like I don't know, half of the indie games these days, but it, but it does it from a different angle. I feel like because it does
Sure.
hold the people to account a little bit too, like in terms of like there's one spot where the supermarket expands and people get upset because you expanded into a coffee shop that has been abandoned for 2 years, and I don't know. I guess people would prefer another coffee shop, but it is what it is. But
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that in our own towns, like a really old abandoned building, and they finally come up with a new plan for it, and then people get upset at what it is, right?
Sure.
But then also, so people are boycotting the store, but then over time they come back. Like you see these regular customers. Like there's one customer that's in the store first thing every day. She stops coming for like 2 days. Third day she's back, right? Like so it kind of goes into that, and on the corporate side, like because you see some of the seedy corporate side, they know that, right? So
Mhm.
I thought it was. I liked how it tackled things from both ways. I don't know if it meant to be as nuanced as I felt it was, but I thought it was nuanced. So
Interesting.
the story and it said the overall grocery gameplay loop is really good, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed it. It is my number 9. I spent like I think it was like 15 hours, and being a dad of 2 now, I try to be very disciplined about going to bed at a decent time because it's tough, man. I'm up early no matter what. And
Right.
this was one of the few games this year that made me cheat my bedtime a few times because I was like pretty
Oh, there you go.
pretty addicted. So but we could cut it. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
All right. I was like, I was like about to say that sounds all fine and good. Are we really going to have like a supermarket simulator on the top 10 at the end of the day?
To Weston's credit, and I have one question about the game. I did wishlist it because, like, while it may not be John's thing, I'm like, okay, this kind of sounds neat. And it looked kind of neat.
It sounded like my thing up until the manual price.
Until the
entering.
prices,
That
yes.
was the,
No, I
that was the make
understand.
or break
I understand.
for me. Otherwise, it did sound like my
there dating in discounty?
There is not if
Okay.
the
That's fair.
town element is definitely lacking. Like there's
Okay.
like it's there was a lot of days like there just wasn't as much to do as you'd like in the town. Now
I got
there's
you.
a lot to do in the grocery
Yeah.
store. So there was times like well after the shift ended, because the grocery store closes, I'd be like, oh, cool, I have time to
Yeah.
restock stuff and reorder items because I got
Sure.
slammed, So it's pretty fun. It's pretty addictive. And I think it got out
Seems
right
neat.
at the right time because I was probably getting bored the last hour or so. I played the review copy too. So I actually, there was like some bugs and stuff. So I believe they've all been
okay.
cleaned up. So it's probably a better game now than when I played it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would like to try that out sometime. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. So, Weston, what is your next offering?
Is anyone really pumped about Avowed? I mean, I liked it, but
I liked Avowed. I completed it really quick. I infamously finished it the day that it came out because if you could start playing it like 3 days in advance, and by the day that it came out, I had completed it. So it played like a long weekend. It was almost too short. I also found it was a game where over time it grew on me and the characters grew on me and the world grew on me so that by the end of it, I had like a deep sense of satisfaction other than the fact that I wanted it to keep going and it was over with. I felt like once I had a handle on once I really started to get a handle on what the world was, what the stakes were, what was going on, who the characters accompanying me were, once I really started to really just immerse myself in the world, I felt like it was kind of like gearing up towards the final battle.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and my defense of it here would be that I like it more than some of the other RPGs on here, other than them being really short. And I don't know if that is a negative. I think in the case of like an open world RPG, our expectations are like it'll last us a couple weeks. I think 3 or 4 days is just it's almost criminal for like an open world RPG to be over with in 3 days.
Sure.
And I felt like also, I don't know that it was kind of weird. I feel like the day that it came out, there was a lot of weird press about like, oh, the Skyrim killer is here. And then once that kind of died down, nobody was talking about it at all. And it may have been out of embarrassment. I think it was out of embarrassment that everybody jumped the gun and said, oh, the Skyrim killer is here, only to find them done with the game a day later. Whereas Skyrim is something you can literally spend. Well, Justin, how many years now have you spent wandering Skyrim?
Oh, quite a few at this point.
And
probably.
Every time I play Skyrim, there's some outcome or some conversation or some bit of something that I find that's different, and Avowed gets exhausted pretty quick.
I believe
my only defense of it for me is that I can look at certain games on here and go, yes, I liked Avowed more than that. But when it comes down to it, we got to cut some stuff. So if it has to go, it has to go.
I just didn't play much of it. It was another one where I started it and I was like, yeah, this seems cool. And then I just never went back to it for whatever reason.
I don't know what it was.
I really was impressed with the combat. Like the amount of options they give you, pretty impressive. And for Obsidian, like especially like the dual wield, the quick swap, like pretty cool. I went magic, which I rarely go, and the magic felt really good. I wasn't that into the characters. I didn't really care about the story. I found elements really interesting. Like I like the last decision in the game, I was like really thinking about it, even though I didn't really care, but it was just like an interesting, like intellectual exercise, I guess you could say. Like I was like, this is wild. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like this is kind of like a decision that I feel like I haven't been given in one of these games before.
Right.
The way that like the God elements are so different and interesting. But the God storyline I found constantly annoying. Like I despised talking to that guy. I hated him, and I kept thinking it would get better as like you learn more about him, and he's just always the most cryptic, vague person ever, and it's just every conversation was awful. So that was one of my least favorite things. I thought it was a very solid game. We're just we're coming up against it now.
I feel the flip. Like I'm literally disagree. I thought that was the stuff that opened me up and was like, oh, what are they talking about? Like, where is this going? Like I was vested, but that's me. But it's the flip of Westen.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, I could find something else for now.
Let's
maybe
no, we can. I'm comfortable with it. That's fine.
No. It's okay. We can leave it for a second. And just see if there's something more definite.
I mean, stuff's got to be cut. Not, so if it gets cut and it's and if I'm the only dissenting voice and there's 3 people on the call, cut it. Like I say, cut it.
I like the game. Don't get me wrong.
But Westen liked it, and I liked what I played of it. I just didn't.
Yeah, I didn't hate what I played.
Like between Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, Avowed is probably the one that I'm way more interested in revisiting.
And I think my weird hang up with Avowed is it's in the Pillars of Eternity universe, and I feel like I should have played those games before I played this one so that I would know what's like really going on. I guess
it certainly helps with like the pantheon of gods. I think that's the thing that you're kind of missing, because I was kind of lost by some of that. But like I said, it starts you off like you have already played them, and it assumes that you have. And I felt like halfway through you have enough information halfway through where you're like, okay, I have a handle on this world now. But it definitely drops you in as if, oh, everybody's played those games and everybody remembers those games. And it was kind of like,
I remember having that feeling. I was like, wow, they're really like going really strong on the terminology and everything. And I don't know what the hell anybody's talking about.
My argument against it is we all have our darlings, and we're going to get down to the 10. We got to protect our darlings. And I don't feel like Avowed is necessarily worth protecting. So.
I will say the game, I agree with the entry point, but they did a good job of giving you a very accessible kind of dictionary thing to look up everything as you went, but obviously not always the most compelling way to experience a story to constantly have to look at a glossary, but they do give you the tools. But I agreed they kind of threw you in a way that felt like they want you to know what was going on a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, or is it going?
I say exit.
I think Yeah, I think I think if
because there's certain
All right.
ones I feel like we're gonna protect, and so if we're getting down to the 10, yeah.
And if the highest person on the game is saying let's cut it, then
that's probably okay.
All right,
I'm with it.
John.
Me. Is now the time to ditch dispatch?
Maybe
so. Looking at the list, the one I wish I'd played looking at this list is Hades 2, because I can't speak to it at all, and I really liked Hades 1. Let's see here, but I also don't know if any of us played Hades 2 besides like one of us.
I did.
Oh yeah,
and
Justin
it's actually my
Weston
favorite.
did. Oh, is it your favorite game? All right.
Yeah,
I played a little bit of it.
I could see
personal
if it's
favorite.
as good as the first one, but it's the biggest. I think it may be the biggest question mark for me on here because I'm like,
sure, understandable.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm kind of. Let's talk about.
People are tiptoeing around a lot of mine, and I find it fascinating.
I'm going to throw Westen a bone if he liked Dispatch so much, and I'm not trying to go after Westen. It's just you have the most obscure games on here,
it's the case of like none of us has played that. We had this last year with we have it a lot with when Xavier's on here. Because like he always plays like something that's like nobody's touched this. I have no idea what this is, and so you're gonna have to talk about it.
So I'm curious about Eric's Home, but we'll get to it. But I also don't know if Hollow Knight Silksong would survive to the final 10, knowing how certain people feel about the Hollow Knight series.
We are stirring it up right now.
My hunch is that out of the two, considering the press and the amount of love I saw for one of these, I'm going to challenge Eric's Home. There we go.
Look, okay. May I offer up something? Because like people have been like kind of really tiptoeing around a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think it's because we played your stuff. Like it's like we're kind of knocking out in circles.
Not all of it.
Them, no.
Yeah. Look, I really like. Well, okay. There's a couple here, right?
Sure.
And I've been looking at both of these for my next cut, so I can offer up either of these. I would say Lost Records or Dark Deity 2 are both ripe for cutting at this point, because I know that Eric's Home is like really special from what I've seen of it, and I'm not prepared to have the Silksong discussion yet.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not prepared to have the Lost Records discussion yet. So Dark Deity is it looks like Shining Force. And that's why I wasn't. That's why I wasn't ready to cut it, because I actually love the Shining Force series. I love Shining Force 1 and 2, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta play that because this looks like modern Shining Force." When I look at Eric's Home, and it's like this stealth isometric game, and I'm like, "No, that's not like that's not a John game." That's why.
Fair,
so, go ahead.
Eric's Home's a puzzle game. I would say it's a puzzle game more than a stealth.
Okay.
Game. It's a puzzle game within a stealth framework.
Is it sort of like those Go games that were around for a while? Like when they did Hitman Go and Tomb Raider Go? Is it kind of like that? Did you play those?
I didn't.
It's not turn-based.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but it's just like it's a stealth game where there's only one solution to them all.
Yeah,
like each person has their own
like
skills.
Hitman Go. Yeah,
it might be, but yeah, it's got a really good. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it later since it's
But, all right,
we'll get there.
But yeah, I mean, Dark Deity 2, I played a few missions. I know Justin wasn't as big on it. I thought it was fine.
This was the fight I was avoiding for a little bit. I was like, no, when it came back to me, it was the first thing that was going to come up. I was like,
offered
okay,
it up
it's
for
fine.
sacrifice. Julian literally handed me his baby and said, "Please kill my child."
No,
I don't.
I handed you Xavier's baby.
Yeah,
and said, "Hey,
really,
kill Xavier's child."
Yeah. I think if he was here, this would be a much bigger fight. I think Dark Deity 2 is a decent Fire Emblem clone, and I don't want to call it a clone, but it's a Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
I said it a million times on the show. I think it is a very competent one of these. I respect what they did. I wasn't really blown away by any aspect of it. And that's just where I kind of landed. I was like, yeah, I had fun with that. And it's not my top 10, but it's like, again, this has been a year for me. So it's kind of, hey, I finished this, so it's going to make it up here. But it's pretty low. And I have like zero real defense for it at all. And
I'm way higher on it than Justin. I think that, like, I really like the character designs. I love the animations. I like the freedom with the builds. But at the end of the day, it's really low on my top 10. I'm not sure exactly where it sits yet, but it is towards the bottom of my list.
Sure.
And I mean, Justin did play it, but
I did.
He's so cool on it that it's almost like I'm the only one who played it in this scenario. It's not going to make
Justin,
it.
do you like the Shining Force games?
I never got a chance to play those.
Okay.
I always wanted to. I didn't have
Same.
a Genesis. And that's just kind of
I only discovered them in the Genesis collection and was like, oh, these are actually good. It was just a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, crap, this is like, I almost said shit. Imagine if I would have said that over the podcast. I was like, oh shit, this plays like the ancestor to Final Fantasy Tactics, and I didn't know that. And like, I had a Genesis and like worked in a game store, and I just thought it was a regular ass JRPG, and it's like, oh no, it's So I got to divorce myself from the concept of picking a game based on whether or not I'm more likely to play it. I am more likely to play Dark Deity over Eric's Home.
That's fair. Yeah.
But if Julian said, take my games as tribute, then,
I mean, who are we to argue?
Dark Deity goes off to the Hunger Games and gets shot in the head by Katniss Everdeen.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Xavier, but it's just, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was.
He was like, "You need to fight for it." And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to fight for it.
Yeah.
Oh wait! Did you throw it up to me so I would take the heat? Is this what happened?
No.
Was this
No.
a strategic social move?
Oh, John, don't worry. I'll take all of it.
All right.
It's fine.
All right, we'll see.
That game is competent, and that's about it.
Okay.
I think it's better than competent, but
it's fine.
All right, so that means it's back over to me. And Lost Records Bloom and Rage is the next one because it's not on my list. Like of the games that of my games that are remaining, it's the one that's not on my top 10.
Interesting. I was not. This was one like, and I think a reason a lot of us are avoiding it is because it seems very much up your alley, and I was not sure where exactly you fell on it.
I can't put that over. Like, I can't put Dispatch over Lost Records in regards to like storytelling type of games. Like,
I can.
Really? You like Dispatch more than Lost Records?
Yeah.
I didn't finish the second half though, so maybe the second half brings it down. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because the first half was so good. And like, if I'm just comparing story games to story games, like I really like the world of Dispatch, and I thought a lot of it was, the writing was on point and so sharp. But Lost Records had me like, I could go days between playing Dispatch, and Lost Records had me like compulsively playing it to find out what was going to happen next. But again, I haven't touched the second half.
And that's kind of the thing for me. And part of it, you know, because the Life is Strange and like the Don't Nod games and the Deck 9 games are so player driven. At the end of the day, it comes down to my personal experience of why Lost Records doesn't make my list. Because your mileage may vary depending on choices that you make in the game. But one of the big things for me is that there's like the bully in the game in the first episode or the first half of the game that is presented as just like a piece of shit. But then as you get towards the end of it, it's like, oh, he's dealing with like some shit, and like there's like a lot more going on behind the scenes of this character, and I was wrong to just judge them as this. And then the second half is like, oh no, he's just evil. Period. And it's like he's cartoonishly evil, actually. And it's like, really? Like that seems like a weird swerve that I don't know why you did it that way. And then, you know, there is something to be said about yo, we've got this package that we received from back when we were a band in our teenage years.
Yeah.
And we just keep staring at it and we don't do anything with it. And it goes kind of comically long before they finally open it. It's kind of like, and I felt this way when I was playing Death Stranding 2 towards the end. I call it the last season of How I Met Your Mother syndrome, because How I Met Your Mother, the whole thing is, hey, I'm going to tell you kids the story of how I met your mom.
Yeah.
But like it goes over like 8 seasons.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the last season only covers a weekend. And at a certain point, it's like, you're dragging this out so long.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing with the package in Lost Records, where it's like, why haven't you fucking opened the package yet? I don't know what we're doing here.
Right.
But then also, like, one of the characters just like up and left because of decisions that I made. So that left a really bad taste in my mouth. And also the ending is like, it almost seems like they kind of wanted to set it up for another one. And I don't feel that was the way to go. Like it left me ultimately like very unsatisfied. So that's why I put Dispatch over Lost Records, because
Interesting.
Dispatch was like a really, again, I may not have cared for a lot of the cast as much as most people did, but it was a very cohesive and satisfying package.
Yeah.
It told a nice story, and it felt like if there's no more Dispatch, I'm still good with what I have here, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Where I don't know if there's going to be more Lost Records, and I'm not good with where it ultimately ends up.
Sure. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, you've talked me into not ever playing it.
I had actually, it was like one of the ones that pretty soon I was like, yeah, I need to go ahead and fire that up and finish it. And I was really like rubbing my hands together, like, all right, cool, I've got a game waiting on me. And it's like, oh, I'm hearing that it's because you really loved the first half, though. But let's say you never played the second half.
Yeah.
You would have been higher on it.
I would have been higher on it, but I wouldn't have been able to really. I wouldn't have then really been able to defend it like confidently.
Especially as a story-based game, that'd be really tough.
Yeah.
And
I do think that you should finish it, John, because you have it, and like it's worth. And again, depending on how things shake out for you, you might have a very different experience than I did. But the experience that I had, it left me pretty cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do recommend that you finish it, but I also think that it's I'm totally fine letting it go.
Okay. I love you, Lost Records.
Right.
Bye.
Okay. Well, now we're at the point where I don't feel like I can pick anything without picking a fight. So that's fantastic.
Well, hold on just a sec.
But I'm holding on.
We have 15 games now. Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of at that point now where it's like, yeah, these are the pretty good ones.
Yeah. I say we do one more round of cuts. That'll take us to 12. And then we'll take our break. And then we'll kind of discuss as a group the last 2 that we should drop, and then start talking about the top 10.
Oh, this is going to be tough. All right. Yeah, I don't even know. God, because nothing I pick here is not going to be a fight. So
not necessarily.
No, it may not be my fight, Julian, but it's all right. Let's gauge a temperature here. Julian, I know you liked Silent Hill F. I don't know who else is into that one. I'm just going to float it up there and see where the chips may land. Let's gauge a temperature here.
Yeah.
I've played 2 hours, and I see some promising elements, but man, I hate the combat a lot.
Interesting.
I don't like it. And a couple of the early puzzles I don't like either. Like, I'm like, these are kind of weirdly subjective. Like, there's one about like facial expressions, and there's a couple scenarios in there where I was like, actually, I feel like I could interpret this facial expression a little differently, and like make the case that mine was actually the right answer. Not every single one, but
the puzzles in Silent Hill F really harken back to Silent Hill 1, where it's like this feels like you had to have been in the head of the person who designed the puzzle.
Perfect. That's what you want. Yeah.
Well,
the first
the first one's like you're supposed to match up like symbols, like there's symbols, and then you're supposed to pick a symbol that like kind of corresponds with it. And there was a couple. I was like, I don't know. I feel like the symbol could go with either one. Like it's kind of weird, right? So like the two main puzzles in the game, because they like show you all the big puzzles, I think, in the menu. And I was like, man, I've already had this issue with both the main puzzles. I feel like it's just going to keep going that way. But man,
Weston, the second one you're talking about, was that the scarecrow puzzle?
Yeah, with all the facial expressions and stuff. Like there's a lot where you have to read the facial expressions.
I had to look up the solution to that, and I was like, I never would have gotten this, because also one of the other things is that it's always the like it's always the male scarecrows that attack you, so you don't and I wasn't figuring that out, and I was just like, that's a sticking point for me for the game is that I had to look up nearly every puzzle solution because I'm an idiot. And but also I think the puzzles are just like really needlessly obtuse.
Yeah. Sure. And I said I consider them subjective in ways that I don't like. But man, the voice acting and the characters are really interesting. Like the lead character, her voice actor, something Tato, I think. She got a Game Awards nomination, first non-English role to get a Game Awards nomination, and I think
she's the one that I voted for.
Yeah, very deserved. Like I'm all about the dub, and I played in Japanese because of that nomination. I'm like really happy I did, because she's phenomenal so far. So I'm interested where things go, but man, nothing about playing it has appealed to me. Like I don't think it's that tense either, because it's so melee. At least early on, it's so melee oriented. Like there's nothing like lurking around any, like if an enemy's going to come up to you, they're going to come up to you. Like there's no tension there. I mean, there's a couple that like will, if you walk past a building, they'll like grab you or whatever, but just gameplay wise, I'm just not into it at all, unfortunately. And I do want to go back and get to the story, but that was one I've been eyeing to cut, just because I've not had a great time with the gameplay.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm pretty high on it, but it's a weird one, because I feel that like I haven't seen the other endings yet. And
right.
The first ending is like super frustrating, but I think it's by design, because it is really saying something about the way that women were especially treated in Japan during the Showa era. Yeah. Not that it's like significantly better now, but especially in the Showa era, like it was pretty like shitty. Yeah. And that plays out in like the way that like the game progresses on that first run. Right. But I haven't done those other endings. Was there something like, personally, I kind of want to see it stay for now, but was there something else that you were eyeing, Justin? Because if Westen was looking to cut it, then that might, I might not be able to really keep it safe.
Everything's going to be a fight here. There's no game probably here that's not
I don't think so.
What do you think's not going to be a fight then? Throw it up.
I'm not going to fight that hard for 100 Line or Promise Mascot Agency.
Wow, interesting.
I thought 100 Line would be a big fight.
In a combined list where I'm the only person who played 100 Line. Yeah. And, I know West. No,
that's
West,
a
did you play Promise Mascot?
I played Promise Mascot.
I played Promise Mascot Agency as well. I thought it was pretty decent.
I played the 100 Line demo, which is pretty long. It was like 5-6 hours or something. But I beat. I think you learned about Promise from me, actually. Or
yes, we did. I remember that.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I played it because of you.
But I'm actually fine with cutting it. But I think if everyone's here has played it, I liked it. I go into my issues later. But
I think Promise we should maybe hold on to for just a little bit. That one might,
since we all played it.
Yeah, and then we'll have a bigger discussion about that. 100 Line, I think you might be alone, Julian. I definitely see the potential in it, but that game feels like one I'm going to go back to at some point and go, oh yeah, this was really good, but I don't know for sure.
Right.
There's every possibility, because I will say this, in what I did play, I wasn't particularly high on the tactics element of it. Same. I thought it was fine, and it very much might get better as you go. But I there was something about the layout that I just kind of found a little, I don't know. I don't want to say boring, but that's kind of where my brain goes. Yeah, a little basic.
Yeah, it definitely gets like way more complex as you go, especially with like some of the other units, and like you really. you get to a point where you're so overwhelmed with enemy units that you really have to be thinking about how you can manipulate the AP gain.
Right.
To like, you'll be doing things where it's like, I need to kill this guy,
sure,
or one of my own party members, so that they can do, because there's a thing that you can do where you can have them do their super move, but they die. Right. Because the thing in 100 Line Academy is that they get resurrected after every fight.
Yeah.
So there's a strategy where whenever somebody dies, it fills up part of this gauge that allows you to do a bunch of like extra stuff. And so there will be times where it's like, okay, this person is going to take out a bunch of enemies and drop dead, but that's also going to power up this other character to do this other shit, right? And so you're really thinking about that type of stuff.
Sure.
Now, I will say that I didn't get all 100 endings because at a certain point, it just became too much. And I'm not particularly jazzed about the way that you have to go about getting those extra endings.
I was going to ask real quick, if you don't mind, like how long does it take you to get one ending?
The first ending is the longest.
Okay.
And so that was probably like a good 40 or 50 hours.
Okay. That is a good long time. Yeah.
And when I got to the end, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait to like keep going on this game.
Right.
And at this point, I've had most of the answers. I've gotten most of the answers that I wanted.
Sure.
There's like one other thing that I would like to go back and do that I just haven't gotten around to doing. But no, it's originally it was like firmly in like the top 1 or 2 spots of my list, but it has dropped down to the bottom half of my list over time.
Wow.
So
okay.
That's why I'm fine. Like I'm not going to fight for it too hard, especially having like being the only person here that played it. I have my darlings on this list, and
there's a few I know that you are quite high on that I am very much not touching. So
so 100 Line can go.
Okay. All right. I'm
totally cool
comfortable with that. As long as we all are.
All right, Westen.
I'll go ahead and just cut Eric's home since I am the only one that's played it.
Okay.
It's more of a puzzle game than a stealth game, and just really well done. Like those puzzles are a lot of fun. Couple small annoyances, but yeah, and then the story is just really solid, and the cutscenes are beautiful. Characters are great. The two, if I did an award for chemistry of the year, like the lead characters, Hannah and Alva, that's my pick. Like they have tons of chemistry. Every interaction between them, it's like there's this love, but they just really piss each other off too, and it's a really fun dynamic. Like I love every time they were going at it. It was really good. So yeah, just really well made game. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, I've been eyeing it for a while and remembering it, and then I always like think of I can never Plague Tale every time I see it. There's something about it that always reminds me of that.
It's got that kind of setting, you know. But yeah, it's I like, and I guess it's kind of it's different obviously from there, but yeah,
sure.
I like it a lot more.
Okay.
I only played the Steam Next Fest demo, and I did really like it. And everybody that I've seen online that's played it has loved it, and that's kind of why I was staying away from it.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I haven't really played it enough to speak to it.
Obviously, I can't speak to it. It's definitely been on my radar since Westen, you talked about it the one time you were on, and I just kind of never got to it because this year's been a fucking year, let me tell you. But yeah, so yeah.
It's not too long either. I think it's like 8 to 10 hours or something. So it's
that's
pretty
not
reasonable.
Okay. That's not too bad then. All right. Yeah. All right. We can cut Eric's home.
Okay.
That's
John.
Okay.
Well, since Julian already mentioned it, let's say goodbye to Promise Mascot Agency. A lot of personality, very unique gameplay. But at the end of the day, there can only be 10, right? So, I played through the demo, and it was a game that conceptually, like seeing the game in the store, I was like, oh, this looks like something I'd really, really like. and played through the demo. And all the demo did was make me curious how much it played. Like, there was an aspect of it that reminded me of like a mobile game, where it's kind of like you go and do the time-based thing and you wait for the time that it takes to do the thing. And if you assign other cards to it, then the time is shorter. And I feel like I'd played like a lot of mobile games like that. And I don't know, because I only played the demo, I don't know how much it expanded beyond that. But I liked it. It had a lot of personality, but there can only be 10. So.
I liked it too. I liked it too. I found toward the end of that game, toward the lighter half of it, I was kind of like, I can't believe this is still going, actually. And it felt like there were certain things that took too long to get to. And then once I got to them, I was just like, oh, none of this even matters anymore. It was a little weird, but I overall did like the game.
Out of the two games where you have a pool of heroes that you assign to go carry out tasks, I think Dispatch is the better of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, strong disagree. I love Promise Mascot Agency. It's probably the game that I got most addicted to this year, where I would have sessions where it's like I just couldn't stop because there was always something to do, or there was always something extra that I was getting or finding, or and the story is so zany and the characters are so silly. And
was this entrapment? I thought you offered it up.
I'm just saying my piece before we let it go.
Okay.
He's giving the eulogy.
Yeah. It's in the top half of my list.
Sure.
But like, I'm not gonna fight for it because I know that Justin was like way lower on it, and John, you didn't play a lot of it, and Westen, like I know you enjoyed it, but I don't think that you dug it as much as I did. Because like I got the platinum on this one, and I didn't get very many platinums this year.
I was pretty into it for a while. The back half, like Justin was talking about, maybe more the back quarter. Like, I think I really enjoyed the fight to like avoid, getting executed with giving the money. Like, it was like balanced really well. And then you unlock the passive income, and all of a sudden I had like more money than I could. Like, all the urgency was gone, and it was just kind of like, oh, now I'm just going to complete it. But yeah, a lot of and the card battle system it's like really hilarious early on, and kind of wears out its welcome by the end.
Yeah,
the vending machine has an incredibly good song. It's so catchy, but it didn't take long for that to wear out on me. But yeah, I really like the cast. It's a pretty heartfelt story, surprisingly, given how goofy it is.
Yeah, it actually got me a little choked up here and there sometimes. But it also, there's a part towards the end where it's like, all right, guys, like I don't think that we need to have every single character come back and say like some sort of heartfelt thing, because there's a lot of them. And this is going on for a ridiculously long time.
Yeah, it did.
My 3-year-old watched me play that game a lot, and man, every time Tofu would come up and she'd be like, Tofu, and it's like, hey, shoot, that warmed my heart too, man. There's some key characters. Like, I would love a Tofu plushie, like, for sure. Like Pinky, I mean, like the blood at the bottom of Pinky, like when they zoom out, it's just like so absurd. Like, the game is just absurd in some great ways. But if they balanced it a little better and just kept it a little more engaging, a little longer, or if they just got out of there quicker, I think I would have liked it even a little more than I did.
That was my big thing. I was like, I feel like this needs to be just a little bit shorter than what it is,
And like, I think I forget what it was, but like I unlocked like a pretty important ability like very late, and I was like, man, I wish I'd stumbled across this sooner. Like, it would have.
Right.
I think it was like the gliding thing or something. But it was like, a couple things But it's a really cool game. Like, I gave it an 8. I really enjoyed it.
It's very cool.
Very
I liked it. I liked it enough. I did. Okay.
All right. So saying goodbye to Promise Mascot Agency, over to me. How do we feel about Ball Pit?
John's nomination. I've beat it too, but I'm curious for John's thoughts.
I beat it. I loved it. I'd probably still be playing it if I hadn't canceled Game Pass. It was
There you go.
one of the more compulsively playable games that I'd played since there's been some games recently that I can play at any time, which is really nice. And it's like Vampire Survivor and Balatro and Ball Pit kind of fell into that category of stuff that if I had a half hour, if I had a little bit of time, I could pop it on, play a session. And like I said, I would still be playing it if Game Pass was live. I thought that I even liked the part that critics didn't like, which was the town building stuff. But I don't know, again, if that's like, we kind of talked about games where you kind of do your run wrong. I don't know if I just lucked into doing it right, because it never was particularly a problem for me, the town building stuff, as far as like being able to level up what I needed to level up. And, the challenge came in if they didn't bounce off what I needed them to bounce off of. And then it was a case of like rebuilding the town. But I played a lot of that game when it first came out, and I liked how it took a lot of old arcade tropes and did things that I'd never seen before, because the game is essentially like, it's kind of a combination between like Space Invaders and Breakout, right? You basically have enemies at the top of the screen moving down, and you have a ball that you bounce, and finding out how the characters would interact with each other. Like there was one where it was like, oh, the guy that shoots him from the top of the screen instead of the bottom, and pairing him with the one that does the twin balls. And I was like freaking unstoppable.
Yeah. That's exactly
and
the
figuring
combo
out this combination. Yeah. Figuring out a lot of those combinations was really, really cool. Like I said, out of all the games on this list, it is one that, like, if I had Game Pass, I would still be playing to this day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it crack the top 10, but just because I love it, if 3 people on the call don't love it, then we can kill it. But I personally,
I just wanted to gauge the feeling.
Yeah,
of it.
I think your argument is very passionate. So yeah.
It was one of just, there's 2 games here where I was like, I really hope that they end up on the 10. And like everything else, my other ones were sort of like, whether they do or not, no big deal. But there were 2 specifically that I was like, I really hope these crack the 10. And one of those was Ball Pit.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. Then that's good for me, because I like it enough.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
It's like my number. If I were to rank, I don't rank this low, but it's probably like my number 15. Like, which I play, a lot of games. So
you play a lot.
It's pretty high up for me.
Sure.
I was like close to quitting it 2 or 3 times, and the ability to combine your heroes, like, that was just such a game changer. It was an unbelievable game changer for me, because that just, all these characters that I didn't like using, like the guy that shoots from the back of the screen, all of a sudden I liked using him, because it said I could pair him with the twin, or I could do something else. So every time I was close to getting out of that game, something would draw me in. I was never like super addicted, but I liked playing like 2 to 3 runs a day, like pretty consistently until I beat it. And even though I didn't like the city building that much, because I don't like constantly having to move the buildings back and forth. It gets, early on it sucks too when you have like 3 seconds, and I was like, what the hell? But yeah, over time that gets better. But yeah, it's a very solid game.
Okay.
Oh, and keeping that in mind, and this one already had like kind of, not a strong support, and seeing kind of where we're at now and right before break, I think it's a good time to let Silent Hill F go. Again, I might feel differently if, like, once I go through the remaining runs and see like the true ending or whatever, or the additional endings, but I'm not there yet. I do personally, I like the combat, although I would also make an argument that you shouldn't enjoy the combat in a Silent Hill game, because that's kind of the point. But I got to the point in Silent Hill F where I kind of solved the combat, where it was like no enemies were a problem anymore, and to the point that on my New Game Plus I bumped it up to hard, because I was like, okay, well, let's maybe get another trophy in here, and because I'm not having trouble with the enemies, because I know the timing of all the attacks, and I know when to hit my counter, and that's a game where it's like, once you know when to hit the counter, you win. Sure. Because you hit the counter and then they crumple, and then you just go wail on them, and then they're probably dead. So there you go. It's once you solve it, you've solved it.
Yeah.
And that, so yeah.
Okay. So we're cutting
Okay.
Silent Hill F. Okay.
Cutting Silent Hill F. And then we will take our intermission. We're going to kind of stop, stretch, eat, refuel, what have you. And we'll come back to make the final cuts and then start talking about the ordered top 10 and crown the number one game for 2025.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Matthew Matson,
And I'm Matt Matthews.
and we're the owners of Matt and Matt Matt's Materials.
Come to us for all your crafting material needs.
We have fish oil,
Bronze ingots,
maple branches,
little pieces of string,
animal glue. Remember, if you need materials, you need Matt's. Visit Matt and Matt Matt's Materials in the Market District of Limsa Lobinsa. All right, and we are back from our break. Hopefully everybody got to put something in their bellies or stretch. I myself took a shower and changed clothes. I feel like a new man.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So I kind of miscalculated when I said
we're at 11, right?
We're at 11. I thought we were going to be at 12.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that noticed that because I was like, we're at 11, right? I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. Am I missing something? Okay.
No, I missed something because I'm bad at math.
That's fine.
I have an exciting offer.
Well, hold
Okay.
on, because we're coming back from break, so I just want to list off what we have left.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
We have Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Hell Is Us, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Dispatch, Hades 2, Ghost of Yote, Ball Pit, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Split Fiction.
Okay.
Weston, what did
Interesting.
you want to say?
It's an exciting
All
offer
right.
that we
Exciting
have to act now
offer. So I have two games on here that are in my top 10, but that I know are hated for various reasons on here. And I'm fine with, I honestly, when I look at the remaining lists, while not all these are in my top 10, I like almost all of these quite a bit, minus the two I didn't play.
Right.
So, Julian, I know you hate Death Stranding 2 with a burning passion. You
Yeah.
gave you gave me shit on your podcast for enjoying it, even though roughly 95% of people enjoyed it and it was Game Awards nominated. I'm certainly not the only one. In fact, you are in the minority, sir, but that's fine.
Growing
and-
minority. I see it online.
You're creating the minority. You're making it grow. Good for you.
He's a
No. It's
You're-
I'm seeing it
you're
more
mover
and
and
more, and I think it's going to be one of those things like Metaphor and Expedition 33, where over time people are going to be like, yeah, maybe it wasn't like an all-timer. It's great, but it's not greatest thing ever.
I haven't seen that with Metaphor.
Yeah, I was
Also-
gonna say, that seems new.
Yeah, I
What,
have
people
not seen it
saying
at
that
all
it's an
with
all-timer?
Metaphor.
Oh no, I remember people
people
saying it was
love
an
Metaphor.
all-timer on Metaphor.
Yeah, I have not
No,
seen
yeah.
people really back off from that.
No, what I'm
Um,
saying is that I feel that over time, I haven't seen that yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
what
All
I'm
right.
saying is that
Oh, okay.
I
3,
can see the
4
clarity
years
there.
down the line, people are going to be like, oh yeah, I guess Metaphor, right? Yeah,
Sure.
that was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Death Stranding 2, it's my number 7 game this year. I liked it. I have qualms as well, but I think the highs are very high. And my number 5 game is Silk Song, which is certainly not a stage select game. So
Sure.
I'm fine with one of those going. Whatever you guys think is best.
So because I thought that we were going to have 12 left, and I was going to offer up one of mine along with another one that I hate. Because what I was going to say to start this off is that there's not a lot this year that I'm super passionate about. The games that are like high on my list, I really love, but I know that in a combined list, like I can't really like fight for them super hard because I'm the only one who played them, or they have enough issues where it's like compared to other games that are just objectively like better made, it's a hard fight. The one thing on this list that I am passionate about is that I fucking hate Death Stranding 2. So if we can get that off the list and then start talking about the top 10, that is great.
Listen, I am notably not a Death Stranding 1 fan. I thought it was fine. I thought it was an interesting game. I thought they should have never made a sequel to it. Yeah. I was utterly baffled when it was like, no, they're Death Stranding 2 is out. I was like, I feel like that should have been a one-off, but let's see what it is. And then I played it and I was like, yeah, that should have been a one-off. I really don't like the setup to this. And also I thought just the way it played traversal wise is weird. I don't know. There's just little tiny things that shouldn't matter that feel like they do to me. Like just snapping to a ladder. Like I was like, wow, I really gotta line this up. This is weird. I really fell off of that game super hard and super fast, even though I was like, at first I was like, yeah, let's see. At least I'll see some weird shit because, you know, it's a Kojima game and that shit's always entertaining, and see the celebrity stuff that shows up. And sometimes I like walking. I like walking places every now and then. That's fun. But yeah, I fell off of that one real hard and real fast. And I don't feel I feel like my dislike towards that franchise grew, which that's just how it is.
I cannot understate the fact that I have been a diehard Hideo Kojima fan since 1998. He could do no wrong. I defended Princess Beach in Death Stranding 1.
Notably did, yeah.
Right? This turned me on him. This combined with playing through Metal Gear Solid Delta and being like, oh, man, the dialogue in Metal Gear Solid 3 is also trash, huh? So it was definitely like my Kojima glass-shattering moment this year. There's some great moments in Death Stranding 2, don't get me wrong. Westen, I really did like your article about how it almost like caused you to cry because you're weird and you'd have the inability to cry, which is bonkers to me. But if the next game that is a tearjerker actually like gets you there because of Death Stranding 2, then that is a net positive to me.
Yeah.
But I do find it interesting that like the scene that you described to me, because again, I'm not a parent, and I did say in my big like rant that part of this is on me because like stuff that is like about parenthood doesn't land for me at all.
Sure.
But it also doesn't land because of Sam fucking Porter fucking Bridges. So Justin, like the thing, we're, big spoilers, right? So
go ahead. I don't care.
Tomorrow, played by Elle Fanning, who is this mysterious character that you find in a chrysalis in this weird other reality.
Okay.
She has like crazy time manipulation powers. Some of the coolest shit in the game is her fighting, because she does like some really awesome fighting combined with like she can actually travel through tar and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
it's fucking badass, right?
Cool.
Sam doesn't say shit to this woman for pretty much the entirety of the game. This was when I knew that I had a problem with Death Stranding 2, was the moment that Rainey joins the crew and he doesn't say anything to her. And then I was like, oh, this is just a thing, right? Like, because it's Sam, and they never really like explain what his deal is. Like in the first game, it was like, okay, I get that he doesn't like to be touched. And I did, after the pandemics, kind of start to understand a little bit more of him, of being like, okay, he's been alone so long that it's hard for him to be around people. I get that. But there was like growth in that character for most of Death Stranding 1, except when he finally like he shatters the character where he's like, no, actually, fuck that. Like, I don't want to be around people. And it's like, okay, so no growth. And that continues in this game. But tomorrow, is a character that's just like in the background. Like he'll kind of, there's little funny cutscenes where he comes onto the ship and she's like doing stuff like manipulating apples, trying to practice her powers. And he just kind of looks at her and she looks at him, and there's no actual interaction. And then he just goes to his room. That is like the extent of most of their interactions for the entirety of the game. You find out towards the end that she's actually Lou, and she's actually Sam's biological daughter. She was transported to that weird other reality where she kind of grew up.
So she's a time travel baby. Now listen, Julian, now you're starting to convince me that this is amazing. I don't know. I'm kidding. Continue.
Right. But so there's this like kind of, you know, quote unquote emotional thing where, you know, Sam realizes that tomorrow is his daughter, but also that like they've lost all of this time, right? But he still got her back. But because it's Sam, it's like, you've proven to me that you don't give a shit about this person. Now you might, like, going forward, because you realize that she's your daughter, but you didn't give a shit about her for the entirety of this game, just like you don't give a shit about anybody else on this ship, because you're Sam Porter Bridges.
May I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Spoiler territory. How do they find that out?
Fragile tells him, because she always knew.
Really? Okay.
Because also, because also Fragile was dead the entire time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, fuck that game. There's stuff in there where you can tell that, like, Kojima read about Ha and Ka, which is, I'm sure it's some sort of like philosophy about like the spirit and the body that he read a book about, and he found it very interesting. That's totally fine. Yeah. And it makes sense that like Dollman as a character would be talking about Ha and Ka, because that's kind of his whole thing. But everybody talks about it that way. And it's like, y'all didn't talk about this before. And also these scientists would probably not talk about it in this way. Like, they might talk about it in terms of like the body being separated from the spirit, but even that's a stretch.
Yeah, Kojima's always been like that, though. Like, he has always been like that. Like,
yeah, he's like, hey, I learned this new thing, and now you're going to learn about it.
And I need to tell everybody about it.
Yeah,
like,
which again is fine.
He really loves doing that,
and he has a character that you can do that with. But it's weird that everybody is now talking this way,
right?
And it's like this big concept, and yeah, man, but if we can get rid of it without a fight, like, that is awesome. I am all for that. Fuck off Death Stranding 2. Fuck off Hideo Kojima. And now we have 10 games to order in a list. I'm very happy about that.
The one other thing. So, I mean, I thought the plot pacing was pretty mediocre until you get pretty close to the end. That's when all the shit happens. Like, there's kind of nothing going on for quite a while. They build up to a villain who they immediately discard. That bothered me, because I wasn't as big on Higgs coming back. I mean, they retread so much stuff with him, especially, I mean, even the boss fight with him is like literally, like, you know what's going to happen. And sure enough, it does. They do the 2D fighter thing again. And
I actually need to rant about that.
Yeah, I kind of rolled my eyes at that. They kind of try and make Higgs, like, I don't know, they try and give him a sympathy moment in the end. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, it's way too late for that. But I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, I know, like, when you describe those twists, like, out of context, they sound wilder than they are. But I feel like when you're engrossed within the world, it kind of comes together more. Mm-hmm. I thought Fragile had a really good voice acting performance at the end. There's a pretty intense moment with him and or her and Sam that kind of threw me off. Did not see it coming, where they kiss, like, kind of they do. I was like, whoa, like, didn't see that coming. And like, it's weird though. It's like, he sucks, but he's almost like weirdly a silent protagonist, and like, it's kind of like the old, like, you're the Avatar, you know what I mean? Like, I was experiencing it through the other characters much more than through Sam. So that's the one thing I'll say about that, I think that's the only reason it somewhat works. It'd be better if Sam was a better character, but I do think he kind of works as like an avatar. Gameplay wise, I remember hearing Julian discuss. He's kind of, you haven't talked about the gameplay as much because you got wrapped up more in hating the story. But yeah, I think when you first talked about the game, I really agreed with a lot you said about how they kind of took away too much friction.
Yep.
and it hurts the experience. Like I remember in the first game, I would see like 3 soldiers in a truck, and I'd be like, oh shit, and I'd be keeping them in my sights. I'd be like,
Yeah.
really nervous about them,
Yeah.
you know. In this game, I see 3 soldiers truck. I'm like, cool, I'll blow them up. Like it just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it kills a lot of the tension, like
Right.
how much they refine things and give you these options. And it's like, as much as I didn't like combat in the first game, I kind of missed when I hated it because I really wanted to avoid it. And that made me
Right,
nervous
yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
And then yeah, way too much. They really encourage the vehicles and they make the vehicles so easy to use. The reason I still really enjoyed the gameplay is because I turned off any help from anybody. I played it offline, which whatever.
Interesting.
I went against the themes. I don't care.
Yeah.
And 2, I did not use vehicles unless I absolutely had to. I did almost the entire game on foot. So
That's how I played the first one. Yeah.
yeah. Well, the first game you kind of have to play it that way because, like, yeah, it gives you sections, and if you rebuild the roads,
Sure.
but it
yeah.
makes the terrain such a pain in the ass.
Right.
Like you can't do it. This time they really make it so you can go through with the vehicle most of the way.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the roads were difficult to upgrade anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the places that you had to deliver were still way off of the path of the roads. So it wasn't really, there were very few places where you could just like drive a truck up to someone's bunker and deliver a bunch of shit. Where here, like that's exactly what I did. And I actually eventually I enjoyed it as kind of like this like chill trucking simulator.
Yeah. And the radio helps with that, although it does hurt like the big moments, like where the music would come on in the first game, you'd be like, hell yeah, you know, that's gone with the radio, but it does give it like a more consistent, makes it more consistently enjoyable because you can always hear the music and it's good music overall, though it's a little too upbeat in my opinion.
Yeah, I would usually leave the radio off unless I was doing what I would call like maintenance runs where it's like, okay, I'm literally just like transporting like materials to upgrade these roads, or I'm making a loop between these like 3 locations on purpose.
Yeah.
That's when I would do that, when it was like a really repetitive task. But otherwise, like if I was making forward progress, I would leave the radio off so that those needle drops did make a little bit more impact.
Sure.
And I do think that like the refinement of the combat, right? Like it feels good to play, but like I do think it's also antithetical to the themes of the game where like in the first game, I never fired one of the guns. The only weapon that I fired in Death Stranding 1 was the Bola gun, because that's like the non-lethal one that would like tie them up.
Yeah.
But I never touched any of the other guns because like I don't want to cause a void out.
Right.
And here it's like, oh, don't worry about it. All the bullets are non-lethal. So there's like 3 or 4 weapons that will kill someone outright. And then you have to worry about like corpse disposal. But it's like way towards the end of the game, and it's like, well, I'm just not going to use those anyway because I don't want to risk being in that situation. But yeah, it really did remove a lot of the friction. And I'm not personally, I really don't like I'm going to make it harder for myself by like turning off actual things, because I'm very big about role playing in my video games. And so to me, it's like, why would I not drive this truck on this highway that's right next to me to this destination that's literally like next to this highway? I'm just going to walk on it. Like, no, like I'm not going to do that because the game's just so set up around the roads this time around. But one last thing before we cut this thing, but because this game in particular was like, he couldn't stop with the Metal Gear shit. Like they recreate the radiation crawl from Metal Gear Solid 4. There's a part there where you're just having to like crawl forward, like as you're in pain. They recreate the fight between Snake and Liquid Ocelot, the fist fight at the end on top of Metal Gear. But so here, and you know, I really like when they showed the trailer of like Higgs with with the crazy electric energy guitar, and he's fighting that like samurai robot. I was like, man, this is fucking rad. And it's still fucking rad. But at a certain point, you end up getting Higgs' guitar and you get to use it as a weapon. And I'm like, okay, this is really taking like a lot of the fun out of that, because like now it's just like this thing, right? It's like, but whatever, it's fine. It is kind of neat that you get to use it. It's a nifty weapon because you can use it as a melee weapon and a projectile weapon with the strumming on the guitar. But when you get to Higgs for the final fight, he has a twin electric energy guitar now, which he then splits into 2 axes, and you have like this melee fight with these guitar weapons that then breaks into a guitar battle where you're like strumming, and you're not like using the energy from the guitars to like fight each other. You're just jamming, and like you have to press the button in order to like do guitar real good and do it better than Higgs. And it was the stupidest shit. And I was like, no, you could have done this any other number of ways, but you had to do it this way. And it's also, and just like the fist fight on Metal Gear Solid 4, it plays like shit. It feels like shit. It's slow as shit. It's awful. Man. So anyway, said my piece. I've said more than my piece, but we now have 10 games to order.
Sure.
I think this can actually go fairly easily because there's really only one thing that I'm now fighting or that I'm fighting for. And it's not what y'all think. I actually can't believe that Hell Is Us made it this far.
I wanted to play it so bad this year, and I just respect what it was going for, and I know you liked it. That's why I didn't. Really buy it.
That's why nobody touched it, because Julian was like very passionate about it. So
after playing, it felt like one of those games where if I played it, I would have to be all in on just that game, because of the way it's structured. And I mean, if you know me, I'm a game hopper. I do not do that. Right. I very rarely do that unless I'm very into a game. So. Every time I thought about it, I was like, but I'm playing this and this, and I don't really want to just be in on this because I feel like that's what I have to do. So that was the only reason I didn't play it this year. This is the last year I felt like I played every game that I wanted to play before we did this episode. And this year, I could not do it. I mean, I was a little busier this year, but I just think there was more stuff to play, honestly.
Oh, you played so many more games than me. It's not even funny. Well, hi there. It's Editing Bay Julian, coming at you like 2 weeks after this was recorded. It was around this time that friend of the show, John Gholson, got oddly disconnected from the call. And then, for whatever reason, once he came back, his microphone sounded like he was on the telephone. I don't know why it sounds like that. It didn't sound like that when we were recording, but it is what it is, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So, apologies. It sounds all right. It just, again, it sounds like he's on old time radio. I mean, not quite, but you get the gist. Anyway, back to the show. I will say, Hell Is Us is vying for my number 1 spot right now, but no one else played it. Well, I let John played it a little bit. I let him borrow my copy because I just wanted to like have somebody else that kind of touched it at least. It is worth noting that like of the games that I let him borrow, that one didn't hook him, right? It was Ghost of Yotei. So I'm totally fine with Hell Is Us at number 10. I'm just stoked that it made it because I really didn't think it was going to. It's like I was saying to my, like, kind of just in general, like going into this, like my top games for me this year, it's like at the very best that I can hope for is to just like get them to the top 10. And then it's like, I'm kind of whatever as far as like where they end up, because just what I played was kind of so different than everybody else. And a lot of the stuff that I'm passionate about, I'm the only one that touched them. So I think that's fine for Hell Is Us at 10.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
And then we could go Silk Song at 9. I really? Yeah.
Over.
I mean, nobody else here is or over what?
You're talking about at 9? You're moving on to 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Over Ball Pit, because I know that I'm the only Ball Pit lover. Versus liker.
I really like Ball Pit. Like it is I gave it an 8.5. It is, like I said, it's number 15, which means a lot because I play probably touched 55.
Yeah, and maybe it's one of those things where everybody kind of likes it versus Silk versus Hollow Knight, where not everybody kind of likes it.
It's a little divisive. Yeah.
I mean,
Silk Song especially felt more divisive than previous.
It's it's my number one for combat. It's my number one for platforming.
Sure.
This year, man, it feels so good. Like I'm having a great time with Shinobi. I'm like one level away from beating it.
Yeah.
But man, it's almost been tough with some of these games because it's just like that game is just so fluid feeling in your hands, and like with Shinobi, you know, like you do a dash and you're just locked into that dash for a bit. And with Silksong, you can always like get out. You can always cancel out of a dash. You can cancel out of anything. You can.
Oh,
and,
I feel the exact opposite as far as Silksong versus Shinobi as far as game feel. I think Shinobi sings, and I think Silksong feels really well. And to be fair, I only played like about an hour of Silksong, but it felt the same as Hollow Knight to me, where it's like, oh, this is very like oddly rigid to me, and I also really don't like this knockback when I'm hitting enemies and I'm the one that's getting knocked backwards. Like that's a very bad feeling to me.
Well, you didn't unlock many of the movement skills, and I mean, Silksong gets a lot better.
Sure, but Shinobi feels like amazing from minute one.
It's not as responsive, nearly as responsive in my opinion.
That's insane.
I'm putting it down here. Silksong's so much more responsive, dude. Ask any real like hardcore action gamers, man. I could do so much more in Silksong. I can adjust on the fly. I mean, if you do a dash in Silksong, you're locked into it. Like you can't move out of it. In Shinobi, and also like corner walls in like Shinobi are a constant problem. Like if I hit the corner of a wall, like whether I cling onto it or vault over it, just always an issue.
Never had a problem.
Yeah, I think the game is great. I mean, it's a deep game. I love the Metroidvania elements. I was very skeptical on the segmented aspect, but I think it works really well for it. But yeah, I mean, Silksong feels like unlike anything else, and I love the movement in that game. I love the momentum of the battles, like the way, like when you press forward, enemies move. Like they're not just rigid and they don't just stand there like in most action games. Like as you move forward, you can kind of force enemies back, which is a problem in certain map areas. Like when there's a bazillion spikes, it's like, what the hell, this sucks. But like when it's in a more controlled arena, it's like I thought the movement was really impressive. The way, like it kind of resembles. I did a little kickboxing way back in the day, and it kind of resembles that. The way when you press forward, enemies move back, or they can push you back. It feels unlike anything else. It felt great. I mean, it's the first Souls-like I've ever beaten, and I did it with no health upgrades. So I think that says how good I thought it felt, because the game frustrated me in plenty of ways too.
Sure.
Yeah. What I was saying, because again, I only played it for an hour. What I'm saying is that Shinobi gives you so much to do immediately. Silksong gives you very little to do. And I'm sure that like as you progress through the game, there's a lot more cool stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
But Shinobi, like there's already so much awesome shit that you start with, and then you get more on top of that. And so, yeah, I was off to the races. And the only thing that I had issues with at the beginning was learning how to use like those instant kills, because sometimes like I would do an instant kill and then like throw myself into a pit because I wasn't paying attention to where I was going to end up after the animation ended. But like I got to a point where Shinobi felt like ballet. Like I said that with Ragebound, but like it's even more so with Shinobi. So that, but we're not talking about Shinobi right now. We're talking about Silksong. So we have that at number 9. I'm fine with that. I thought it would end up higher, honestly.
I'm fine with that. I don't really have a dog in that fight, so.
Does Dispatch make sense at 8, considering that like it almost got cut a couple times?
I wouldn't say it almost got cut. It just got nominated there.
Yeah.
I think it's still too early. Personally, I mean,
I personally,
it's my number 4
too.
Okay.
I don't know. John was offering up ball.
Did anybody play? I mean, who else played Shinobi? So just Westen and Julian.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I played a little bit of it, but I don't really feel that strongly about Shinobi. I think it's fine. It feels decent, but for one of those games, it's good. I don't.
Shinobi's probably my game of the year.
Okay, let's do ball pit at 8.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
Like I know it's not going to get that high, but but it is very likely my game of the year.
Okay.
Right now the big struggle is between it and Hell Is Us, and Vampire is still in that contention, but it's like I keep thinking about the ending, and I'm like, I don't know, that might be a strong number 3 on my list, at least for right now. But
yeah, Vampire is going to be an interesting discussion pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play it. Like, it just got trashed too much. But I mean, obviously, I heard both your thoughts.
It's the ugliest dog on this list, but it's you still want to take 100%. It home and love it, and it's like it's
I wasn't sure how vulgar you were going to get there, John.
And make love to it. It's. I mean, we'll get around to Vampire, but Vampire is like it's you want to root for it because there's a time where a game like this would have sold pretty good, like, and it's a shame that it kind of it feels like it was overhated, and it makes, I think, us who played it and really enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, thought a lot of aspects of it were worthwhile. I think it makes us want to be even louder cheerleaders for it because of the fact that it is so overhated. But I mean, compared to other things on this list, it is a game full of jank. Like,
Hold on. Let me throw this up there. Okay. Wow, it's actually updating on my end. That's cool.
I did it. It
Oh,
was
that's
bugging
nice.
me to not have the numbers.
I'm glad. That's actually awesome that works that way. I was like, oh, we all are doing. Oh, cool. I've been updating the list for all of you guys. I'm sorry. Good job, me. Anyway, okay. So 10 Hell Is Us, 9 Hollow Knight, 8 Ball Pit. Julian is very passionate about Shinobi. That's fine. That's a dog I don't have a dog in that particular fight right now.
But you know what? Honestly, because this is a group thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know people are really passionate about stuff. Here's my thing. I know we're going to talk about it more in depth soon. I don't want Expedition 33 in our top 5. So
yeah, I don't know if you're going to get your wish on that. I'm going to be honest, because I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't think it's number 1, Julian, but it's a lot better than other games on this list to me.
Yeah, so because I was going to say, like, I'm totally fine putting like Shinobi at 7, and then but then right, because I also don't think that Bloodlines 2 goes above Expedition 33. Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I hear you. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't know where that one lands exactly. But I think you're not going to get your wish on that. The one that is remained a little quiet here that I feel like we have one person that I don't know how many people played Split Fiction.
Yeah, let's look at that. I'm like, I
think
can't
just Westen.
Kind of shocked it's still here.
Yeah,
I am too, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm still sad you guys didn't play it together because I think you would. I think it'd be fun content. But yeah, no, that it's another step. It's a step up from It Takes Two.
Sure.
It had. I said Dispatch was the funniest game I played this year, but Split Fiction had probably the funniest moment this year, in my opinion.
Okay.
The side stories are so good. I mean, the main story is awful, but like there's a lot of little side stories that are really enjoyable, and just like they just took the formula from It Takes Two and just feels better. Like the platforming's better, the combat's better. I think there's more creative scenarios because you float between the science fiction and the fantasy, so they really could just go wild with it. So yeah, man, and you could, and I'm it's watching the Game Awards. It's cool to see. And I watched like a couple of the indie showcases around the Game Awards too, and there are a lot more games on the way that are like inspired by It Takes Two and now this, which is cool.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's something that we don't have a lot of, and there should be more of it. So, yeah,
there was a game at last year's Game Awards when Split Fiction was announced that is doing the same thing that I thought looked better, but it didn't come out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's Switch too, but there's that Orbitals game. It's like an 80s anime.
That looks very cool.
Yeah, and then that Out of Words, where the characters don't have mouths, and it's like got kind of a claymation style. Like both those look really good. So
yeah,
and there's some others. So
right,
I've seen people play Split Fiction. It actually does look really cool. I think it's probably if I was going to play one of those games, that's probably the one that I would play is
Sure.
Split Fiction.
Yeah. Seems neat.
But seven's fine for Split Fiction.
Okay.
That's kind of where I was leaning toward on that. Yeah, like I think that sounds right to me.
Okay.
Personally.
6 Vampire.
That's probably
Yeah.
where it goes, right?
I don't know. I feel like I like it better than Dispatch.
Yeah, I mean, I like it better than pretty much everything else that's left. But
yeah, I do like it better than Dispatch personally.
I kind of
too.
vouch for Dispatch being the number 6 based on what these other ones are, because my argument from earlier still stands, which is it's the least gamey.
And the game part is not
And the
great.
when the game part happens, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
And that's my big thing with it. I did like the story.
I do too.
Like I definitely like the characters
too.
a lot better than Julian did, and that's fine. But when it is a video game, I found it incredibly frustrating at times. Like the hacking minigame is just like, I just hated it every time it happened. I just did not like it. The Dispatch part of it it's really cool for a little while, but it's also kind of like it wears out its welcome sometimes. I don't know.
Here's my deal with the puzzles and the dispatching. I thought the more intricate, thought-provoking puzzles don't happen until the last 2 chapters, and the more interesting takes on how you dispatch don't happen until the last 2 chapters. And I kind of wish that the first, like, however many chapters, 6 chapters or whatever, had... they kind of ramp you up, but because you only do one dispatch session and a couple hackings within that dispatch session, there's not enough. There needs to be, like, just dispatching and just hacking between each chapter, almost, that you can just kind of keep doing. Because I didn't like the fact that just when I thought, like, for instance, there's an energy bar on a boss and your dispatches will affect that boss, like, that was really cool. And that should have been something that I did multiple times in the game. The puzzle solving of the hacking, not just the running from the orbs, but like the ones that had actual puzzles, I'm like, that should have been peppered more throughout the thing. So there's certain things about it where it's like, man, Dispatch 2 is going to kick ass. Dispatch 1 had great writing, great characters. I really liked watching the episodes, but there was a lot of things where I was like, man, I kind of wish I wish there was more meat on the bone.
Right. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I think it's a really well-made game and really well written, but when it is a video game, I think it needs a little bit of refining, and that's where I kind of fall in on it.
What John was talking about with that health bar, like that's I think the last mission, and it's like I think that was missing in terms of like you don't always know, like you screw up a mission, you don't understand what the consequences for that are, what the stakes are, and the last mission, because of the health bar, kind of gives you that. You're like, I don't want my health bar to run out. Like, pretty simple, right? Like, they should have just had that health bar in every mission. I think that would have... I still like the dispatching in a lot of ways, but...
Yeah, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong.
It definitely could have been refined. And I think they had the solution in the last thing, and they didn't do it more.
There's also the bit where, there is the, like, you're acting out the cutscene stuff, but it doesn't ever feel like it really matters. It's kind of like a weird tacked on thing, because they're like, it feels like they're like, this cutscene's going on too long and people aren't doing enough, so let's give them something to do while it's happening. And there's a certain point where I was just like, I'd rather just watch it, honestly. But I feel
when I play it a second time, I'm going to turn that off.
Yeah, I think it's almost sheerly for the so you can compare stats with people is why they did it. But like,
well, they don't even give you any stats related to the QTEs. So, like, the QTEs I don't remember there being a stat related to any of the QTEs.
There was one in the very first chapter, I believe, that was like, you hit this amount of, you were in this percentile.
First and last chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that. Because, it hardly ever comes up. And it's like a footnote. It's like, okay. And I remember seeing it and being like, do I need to keep that on? Because I don't know if I care about that. Is a little odd.
It doesn't affect animation, which is, I think, the the big thing that you're talking about, which is like whether I push the X or not, the battle carries out the same way.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to tell if you were hitting it right a couple times, like because it just happened so fast, and there's not much impact when you do it. So for sure.
Yeah. I love the concept of the dispatch part of it. I think that's really cool. But like the thing that I keep coming back to is that they were still gung ho about trying to like tell a narrative during those parts to the point where it's like, oh, well, now like half your team is not here, or you select this character and they're like, no, I'm going instead. And it's like, but okay, so then what's the point of me even making these decisions if like you're just going to make them for me? And it just, I don't like that.
I respected what they were going for in certain bits of that, where it was like they were using it as almost like a storytelling mechanic of like the dissension within all the stuff that's going on. I thought that was kind of interesting at times, but like, it is also a little frustrating at the same time. I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Which I think might have been the point, but
it was. I think it definitely was, but it's interesting how they interwove the storytelling with the gameplay, but it purposely makes your life really hard sometimes, and it puts you in that mindset. Like like you said, I respect it, but and I think I realized that quickly, where I was like, okay, this is just how it's supposed to be. It's kind of cool. So I didn't let it bug me, especially because you don't really have that obvious fail state. So it was like, I think you can fail, but I think it was probably hard to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I came around on that aspect for sure. I liked the guessing game element. I liked picking, picking the stats and like kind of outfitting my team in a way to like, although there was one thing I hated. The one thing I hated is like, I really tried to make a balanced team because certain missions, certain heroes will be gone, for story reasons or whatever.
Right.
And then near the end of the game or second half, there's those missions where if one stat is too high, you fail it.
Yeah.
And those pissed me off because my whole team was balanced. And I was like,
frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. That was a weird mechanic, I thought.
Yeah,
where I
was
was
very
like,
weird.
Yeah,
you're too good for you're too good at this, so fail.
It took me a little while to even understand why I was failing some of that, and then I was like, wait, what? So that's really dumb. I don't know if I like that. So yeah.
I like how the gameplay. I mean, not only does it like work within the story though, I like how it really is used as a big time tool to give more of your decisions some impact.
Right.
Because your team gets changed multiple ways depending on how, like, that's really like the gameplay is really what gives. I mean, there's some narrative stuff too, of course, but
sure,
the gameplay is what really gives the choices a lot of their punch, which was so a little bit of tweaks there, and the next one could be pretty great.
Like I think Dispatch 2, if they make another one, is going to be really, really great. It just needs a little bit of tweaking here and there, and I think they really got something. But yeah, I think 6 is perfect for it. Perfect.
Okay.
Personally,
then I think that I think we've pretty much got 5 and 4 pretty locked, right? Which is Vampire and Shinobi, right? Like that's.
I'm fine with that.
Good with that.
Vampire.
I might beat Shinobi after this.
Yeah, Vampire is I really liked Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I liked a lot of the elements of it. I think personally there are parts where I'm like, man, if they would have just made this the game, I'd be so into this fucking shit.
Yeah.
But like I think playing it for me was like just playing, like, it's perfectly fine most of the time. There are certain choices where I'm like, oh, I don't like these enemies, or the stealth feels a little weird. Like, it's super awkward a lot of the time. It's not my favorite game to just pick up and play. Like, I was never like rushing in, like, oh man, I can't wait to get in this combat like I do with like Cyberpunk or something like that.
Yeah.
I know, because you're an insane person and I love you for it.
I just really clicked with that game in a way that I know 99% of people didn't.
Right.
I'm not saying that like I'm better than other.
No.
It's just there is something about the toolkit and the way that I play games
that
like made sense to me. And I never like, I talked about the thing with like the mass suicide, which was never not fun, but also just like the simple act of, I'm just gonna teleport into this dude's shadow and break his fucking neck.
It has some great ideas in there, and it just needs like some stuff. Like it just needs some tweaks here and there, and it could really be something special.
Yeah.
But it's not there. And as you said, that ending is really like, it left a really sour taste in my mouth at the end of it, because I was like, man, this is just one little conversation away from being actually really great.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just do just roll credits and cue the Fallout ending, and I'm like,
it's like the best PS3 game ever made for PS5.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. But there's something to it, right? There's just something to it, and for it to get even to number 5, I think that's actually pretty great for it.
I'm really happy with that. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to make it anywhere close to that. But I do think it's something really special. I think it's one of those, and let's be, I've talked about this on the main show, which is that like, games are so good now that it is like almost impossible to get somebody to take a chance on a 6 or a 7, because like at this point it's like people aren't even wanting to spend money on a 9 because games are just like the bar is set so high these days, and I get it, but like also games are cheaper than they've ever been as far as like software, and like games go on discounts and stuff like that, and it's another thing too where I feel that you have these people that are complaining like, oh, games are all the same and no one's doing anything different and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, but the places where people are doing different things are in the 6s and 7s, because they're swinging for things that they don't quite reach, but it's fascinating to see how they swing for them.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
And then we've got Shinobi at 4. I just want to say like my final piece for it, because like I said, absolutely. it is potentially my game of the year. It's a game that I just keep coming back to. Like, so when I finished Death Stranding 2 and I was fuming and I was like, I need to play something else to get the taste of this out of my mouth.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like looking through a bunch of stuff and I was like, let me just fire up Shinobi for a little bit. And then I was like, oh man, that's a good shit. I just can't get over how good it feels to play. I click with the combat so well. I loved the fact that like there would be like combat encounters where I would just get my shit wrecked and die almost immediately, and then I would just like kind of be like, okay, think about it, and I would like go back to that same encounter and just like be mindful of the moves that I was doing and the buttons that I was pressing, and just like annihilate that encounter on a second try, right?
Sure.
I think the animation is some of the best that I've seen in like a 2D game. Probably my biggest complaint about it is it's funny because Westen didn't complain about this, which is that I think I really wish that it had chosen one or the other as far as the way that the levels are done. Either just be A to B level, or be a totally connected search action game where, because having pitfalls where there's also the potential to be something down there, that sucks.
But they didn't have to do that. They could have just done like spikes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why there's pits like that. Like, they could have easily done a visual indicator. Like, I like the segmented thing. It makes it a lot less overwhelming to think about 100%ing it, and like the game really pushes you towards it. I feel like, because you can replay a level, you get to watch the number boost back up like to whatever percent you're at now. Like in each level as you go, it'll be like you're at 71% on this one, 89% on this one. But yeah, I think it made it easier for them to have some freedom with the level design, like the moving train level. Like, I guess you could have done that somehow in a interconnected search action game, but it's a lot easier to do, right, when it's its own level. It's like, okay,
definitely.
we're gonna fuck around and make this set piece level instead.
Sure.
Like, so
and it would be weird to have like that market level, right? Because you couldn't really do that in like a facility,
right?
So I do get that. But it is a weird thing, but it wasn't a problem for me. I was just like, I don't know which one I would prefer, honestly, if it was just like, here's level 1 through level 15, or if it's like one big map that I'm chipping at over the course of a few hours. I don't know what I would prefer. I almost wouldn't mind them do like 2 sequels, like in either flavor, because I would really love to see them do another one. I really am over the moon for it.
Nice.
You could, I think on the first pod you talked about this game. You talked about how it's like for the fighting game fans or whatever, with all the combos and all that, and how you kind of, that's the point, is just doing all that. And it's like, I will say the way that they unlock everything, like I'm not a big fighting game guy, but I am having fun like piecing together combos. Like I love the diagonal kick into the spin, and then I do another move from there. So there's cool stuff for sure. I wish the boss design was more interesting. I don't think there's been one boss fight that I thought was particularly interesting. The more horde, like the elite encounters are definitely the highlight of the game, which is probably, I think, maybe one that you're talking about, like with the encounters you liked. Like those are fun. Like they're just challenging enough. Like I think I would usually lose the first 1 or 2 times, but then I'd get it. And a lot of options, great animation, great art, great exploration, very rewarding. There's a lot of good stuff. I think the feel, there's just a couple things that are just a bit fidgety to me that it's like probably my number 12 game this year. So I mean, I really liked it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not quite sure where you're at, but I will say the last like 2 or 3 bosses are pretty intense.
Okay.
To the point that, like Ragebound, that I was like, oh, I might not be finishing this. Like this might be the end for Julian, but I did persevere.
I'm in the monster's mouth right now, which is a pretty wild level.
Okay. Yeah, I so you're not quite there yet, but yeah, there's a couple that are like, there's a lot of what fighting game people call like screen pollution that you have to contend with, where it's just like, I'm just having to like really be Johnny on the spot with my dodges and my jumps and also like trying to put in damage, but avoiding all this shit. It's pretty intense.
Sure.
All right. Can we at least just have Expedition 33 at 3 though? Can it go no further than 3?
This is so weird, right? Like looking at the last 3, it's like I wish I'd played Hades 2 so I could speak to it better, because there's a part of me that doesn't feel like Ghosts of Yotai is a number 1 game of the year game, and I don't know why I don't feel that way. I think it's because it's derivative of so many other games.
Sure. Yeah.
But looking at the last 3, it becomes a thing of like, okay, like there has to be a 3-2-1. So what's the 3-2-1, right?
So can I just say,
go ahead.
Long before, like even just when I was like booking Game of the Year stuff, like that far back, I was like, I'm expecting Hades 2 to be Game of the Year, and I'm fine with that.
Same.
Yeah.
When I heard Justin talk about it, however many weeks ago, I was like, yeah, that's probably it, because that's my number 2.
Okay.
I love Hades 2.
Yeah.
That does put Claire at 3.
I really like Hades 2 a lot. That's the most fun I had with a video game this year. Go ahead.
Ghost First Expeditions. I mean, I have Ghost at 11. Like I liked it. It surprised me because I didn't expect to like it as much.
I expected to hate it.
Yeah. No.
Straight up.
And you know what's funny?
I expected to hate that game.
I was getting burned out on it, and I actually heard you talking about how you got into it it was basically the Kitsune arc.
Yeah.
And that was around where I was. I was like, all right, I got to pick this back up. If Justin's into that's kind of like, I think Julian at the time too was like, whoa, this is weird. Like, that you're liking it. Like, and I was like, all right, if Justin's liking it, I should give it a little go. And I just went full mainline from that arc.
Yeah.
And I like that arc is so special. I think
it's really good.
And it continues. Like the story gets. I just did not expect to be that into this story.
I didn't either.
It just won me over with the characters and with Atsu and Kitsune in particular.
Yeah, Lady Oyuki and all that stuff. Yeah, that's that arc was maybe mentioned on another episode of Game of the Year podcast.
Justin had to spoil that stuff for the character part, and that made me like really hyped to go back and play. I mean, I was going to anyway, but I was like, oh, I really need to see this.
Right. Yeah, I really loved Atsu as a character. And this is coming from somebody who passionately didn't like Ghosts of Tsushima. I thought like that game wore out its welcome so fast to me, and I really went into this one going, all right,
I want to try it because, you know, it's the big Sony game. It looks pretty, but I'm probably going to give this about 2 hours and then immediately go, okay, yeah, I'm going to be done with this. And there's something about the way that game kind of kept me engaged, even in like really minor stuff that I think is very special to me, where it's just like everything felt kind of natural. Like a guy will just approach you at an inn sometimes and just be like, oh, hey, there's this thing going on over here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And just off I would go. Or just like, you know, picking a point on a map and then going and then finding X amount of things on the way there. I didn't like everything about the game, but I was surprised by how much stuff I did like. And I really, they do like the like legend stuff in this one too. And not as much as I think they did in Tsushima, but like the stuff that was there, I thought that stuff was really fun. And like there was like there's one where you walk up to this guy's house. I can't even remember how you hear about it. Like again, you just hear about it in an inn, and then it just kind of marks the area where it's at. And I just went off looking for this thing that somebody was talking about, and then like I met this guy who was like this storyteller dude who was in front of all of the little story arcs like that, and he's just like, oh yeah, this guy was a general and he was super feared and all this stuff. He has this great armor, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. I would like to get some new armor. That sounds great. But also like his daughter died and all this stuff, and everybody that goes in there doesn't come out. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And like they had like a bunch of different little areas where like you would go into like a cave. They would have the bamboo strike in the cave, and then in the background you would see like the guy just walk past like the little jump scare thing. And I was like, this is so neat. Like they went so extra for this like one little area of this side story. It was cool. I really liked Ghost of Yotei a lot. More than I ever expected to. So that's my piece on that.
My issues with it were I did go full mainline after a point, and I really don't like the skill trees. I mean, like that's 40%,
100% Weston. I agree with you. A lot of them feel very minor, and it to a certain point, I was like, I got what I wanted out of them, and that was.
Are you guys talking about the charms?
No, not the charms. The like up? The skill tree itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a weak point of the game.
It did feel like I've only played it for about 6 hours so far, but it does feel like I'm kind of just getting back stuff that I feel that the game should have started with because I played Tsushima, and I'm like, I kind of feel like because it's a sequel that I should have started off with some of these abilities already, and it feels weird, like having chain assassination, right? It's like,
sure.
Man, I kind of wish that was just there to begin with, but it also the game isn't as nearly stealth-focused.
And also, even though it is kind of a sequel, it's a different character, so it does make sense that they wouldn't have that, right?
Yeah.
But like there is some really fun stuff in the skill tree, but there's also stuff like you deal like a little bit more damage, or like this goes up a little faster, and I was like, I guess I can wait on that forever. Like I just don't care about that.
I'm trying not to talk about this game because. Are we saying that this is number 3? Is this the time to talk about it? Because I'm okay.
No. Now that we're in the top 3, we're just everything is fair game, buddy.
Because I was like,
it is.
Well, but I think we're in agreement that we're going between 3 and we're talking about 3 and 2 because we've got one locked, right? Like there's no debate about that.
Didn't compel me. I mean, I played through a couple hours of it, and it was not a game that had me on its hook, where I wanted to go back and continue playing.
Sure.
I found it almost hilariously overwrought. Like, everybody's hair is constantly moving, and their clothes are constantly moving, and there's particles in the air. And it was like a whole bunch of graphical, just like, everything doesn't have to be moving. That's not the, like, everything doesn't have to be the most. Like, I don't need to see every one of his eyelashes twitch while rose petals swirl around in the air. And it was like, I found some of that honestly past the point of beautiful and kind of into like a toe into ugly, where it's like this is almost excessive.
Sure.
No, I agree.
And then playing the game, I was kind of like, at best, it reminded me of games from the past that I'd like Shadow Hearts and things like that, where you're trying to time certain things when you're doing your turn-based attacks,
your defense and stuff.
The kind of like narrow hallways of trees that you run down kind of turned me off. Where it's just like you've got this straight path through trees and you fight guys every now and then, and it was like there was nothing about it from kind of like its overall Baroque nature and kind of how much it had to be like from go. It felt a little too try hard. I mentioned a game being a dog earlier, which is like Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade is the sad dog with the sad eyes in the corner that you're like, oh, look at that dog. This is the dog that keeps jumping on you, and as cute as it is, you're like, stop fucking jumping on me.
It's a fascinating comparison.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever go back and play it because I found aspects of it laughable in weird ways. There were other stuff I did like I thought the weird like goddess mother thing seemed interesting, but yeah, it did not compel me to continue to play. Something about it was a turn off to me. So I've made my peace about it.
It says a lot that it took me, I think, 3 separate times for me to finally actually sit down and go, okay, I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna finish it. And like, weeks or months apart a lot of the time. Whereas like, no, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play this because people say it's good. I want to see what happens. I'm fascinated by it. Expedition 33 is a decent game that I personally have a lot of foibles with, both full-blown story-wise. I don't always like it. I think Julian's more down on the story than I am personally, but I still have my foibles with it, right? My big thing is like a lot of the gameplay stuff, actually. And I know that's like maybe crazy, but like I like the idea of parrying stuff. And it feels good a lot of the time. But there's some times where like you get in a fight with like the same guy with a hammer so many times before you get kind of tired of doing it in a stage where I'm just like, okay, and we do this again. Okay. And right, because it feels like it takes longer than it should. Some of the parts in it are really great. And some of them are very much lacking in that aspect. And also, like, I mean, the biggest thing, and I can't state it enough, I find it interesting, the Souls inspiration behind a lot of the stuff, like the flags, there's the bonfires and stuff like that. I think that stuff is pretty cool to some extent. And I think some of that works. I think the flags thing works. I don't know why there's not a manual save, but that's whatever. I guess we're not doing that in games anymore. Fuck me.
Right.
That's basically it.
I think, was it, I think, Vampire does that as well, right? Like Bloodlines 2 doesn't let you manual save.
It doesn't qualify for this year's Game of the Year, but it drives me nuts that fucking Unbeatable doesn't have a fucking manual save either. Like, I'm just constantly like, I don't know where this is going to pick up at every time I fucking turn the game off. So it's insane. Anyway, but the big thing is like, I know its inspiration is in the Souls stuff, and the Souls games don't have maps. But like, I feel like you really needed a map in a lot of those smaller areas, and not even for like to know where I'm supposed to go. My biggest problem was stumbling into progress and then being like, Well, I guess I'll come back to this other stuff later because I don't know. It just feels weird to go back now. I just fought this boss or whatever. I don't know. And that's maybe my personal hang up, but still, like, it felt weird going back to some of those areas for like what felt like stuff that I should have gotten. And like, or just, I don't like the feeling. I don't always like the feeling, especially I don't like the feeling of being lost in a video game. I hate it. Like, I get mad. I like to feel like I know where I'm supposed to go. Which I know, I guess that's kind of the point here, but I really like if they were drawing the map as they went or something like that. I feel like there's merit to that. Even thematically, it's on point to do that, but they don't. And I found that very frustrating. I also I don't know. Expedition 33 is a weird one. I'm not super high on it. Definitely not as high as, the rest of the world. Obviously, it won a shitload of awards. So who gives a fuck what I think? Yeah, it's, to me, on this list, personally, I think this is where it should go, at 3. It's fitting. There's 2 3s in it. It's trying to tell you where it should go. And yet, but the one thing I will say in its defense is it is one of the few games that at the very end, when a certain major choice came up, I did have to sit the controller down and think about it for a second. There's something to that. I wasn't in love with the ending. There was also just weird stuff where big spoilers for Expedition 33. You have to the paintress is a thing, and we have to get past this barrier. So to get past this barrier, we have to go get this super magic sword that only one of our party members can possess. And then suddenly we randomly find out that there's also these guys with muscles that just broke it. And it's like, then what the fuck? Like, apparently you can just be strong enough to break it. That's really weird and doesn't really make sense in the series of the world. I don't know. I found that really weird. That was a big sticking point for me. And also, at some point, all these characters find out that they're almost not real.
No, not almost. They're not.
They're not. And I'm like, I was like, that is like an existential crisis. And we just kind of go, well, I guess we're not real. Well, whatever. And I found that really weird. Like, I would, if I found out suddenly I was just like a weird painting creation, which, I might be, but I'll probably never find that out until I'm dead, which I'm comfortable with. That would be a sticking point for me. I would have some questions and some soul searching to do. And it feels like no time. We must go to.
Oh, no, Justin, nobody in that cast is curious about anything. They have they don't care.
I know.
They don't have questions. Even when they're presented with someone who has the answers, they're just like, I know. No, we'll just keep going. We don't have questions for you, person who knows everything.
The campfire bonds have a lot of questions. Some of that stuff is asked and answered.
I will
but
say
Westen, I disagree, and I also think that I do think the existential thing. I'm with you to an extent. I actually wrote about this when I wrote about the ending. It's like, I'm not a religious person. I've heard the question the people that say, are we in a computer simulation? You hear that all the time. And it's like, honestly, if I found out I was a computer simulation, it'd be kind of fucking weird for a second. And then does my life really change at that point? No, I really don't think it would fuck me up that much. Personally, at least with my views. Now, if I was devout, I'm sure it would fuck me up a lot. But at least with the way I am and the way those people are, it made sense to me.
Okay. And my big thing here, while you're asking those questions, would be, okay, but let's explore that more than we do. You know what I mean? I don't know how exactly they could do it, but you've now opened up a path to where you can explore some really interesting things there, but they don't. And I find that a fascinating omission. For just there's a lot of potential and just in that, I almost felt like the game needed just a slight bit more in between, where that stuff kicks off and where the final like bit is. That isn't like side content, and maybe some of the side content does explore that and I just didn't find it. That's entirely possible, but I felt like there was more that they could have poked at that I would have found interesting that they just kind of leave hanging. Now the greater world that they set up at the end of that I find fascinating, and I'm super into wherever they decide to go with the Clair Obscure moniker, right? Like,
yeah,
writers,
I want to see
painters,
the writers.
That shit sounds awesome. Like as soon as they do that big drop, I'm like, okay, that has some potential. I'm into that. Let's see where that goes. And if they want to go that route, I find that fascinating. But they like, I don't know. There's more they could have done in that route to me. Again,
I think they explore Verso pretty well. I think, which is important because his existential stuff is kind of the whole basis of everything. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with a couple others, although I think a lot of them were wrapped up in their own stuff and getting everything solved to the point where it's like, we'll worry about this after we get the world back.
Yeah, sure.
So that was my logic there.
I can understand that.
I think I cut off Julian earlier, so I forget what you were going to say.
Well, you brought it up, which is the existence of Verso in this story, or him being part of the party is what ruins the story for me. Because you have someone who has all the answers, and none of the characters seem all that interested in pumping him for information. I said this in the character stuff, but it's worth repeating here, which is, and Westen, you're right. Like some of that stuff is done in like the character bond stuff. I don't think that those questions should be presented in what's basically side content. Like that should be like up front and center, but also the way that it's presented, where it's like, well, if you tell me something about you, I'll tell you something about me, hee. And then Verso is always extremely coy about his answers. It doesn't actually say anything.
Sure.
And that's extremely frustrating in this particular scenario where he literally has all of the answers and no one no one should even be trusting him, honestly. If anything, they should be like, holding a sword to his throat and saying, hey, what the fuck, man? Like, tell us what's going on here. And that's like a big problem for me. And then the other thing for me just ultimately is that like, as soon as I found out that like none of this was real, I was like, okay, well then I don't care. And it's funny because I replayed the first around 5 hours in the last couple days on PS5 because I wanted to kind of, okay, let me see, like they've probably made some improvements to the gameplay. I also kind of just want to refresh myself on, the feeling of the game and like the writing and like everything. And it was funny because like all of the same complaints that I had in my first playthrough, like they were still here. Like I had the same thoughts in my head. But also like when they were doing the Gomage thing, it was like, this whole like, oh, it's very like saddest thing. I was like, oh, don't worry, you weren't real to begin with, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah. It really like took all of the oxygen out of it for me. And I understand how impactful the ending can be for some people.
Sure.
I personally chose the ending where I got Mael or Alicia out of there.
Yeah.
But let me be clear. If there was a way for me to like hook myself up to a machine and spend time with my mom, I would 100% live in that reality. But I would hope that someone close to me would be kind enough to pull me out of that,
right? Because
that's not a healthy way to exist, right?
Which is one thing I do find very fascinating about the ending. It was one thing that I thought about a lot, even in like recent weeks. Here, I've been like I've gone over that particular thing in my head because I had to set the controller down and think about. I was like, what do I actually think should happen here? And there's something to that because I always find that to be a very special decision in a video game when I have to like take a second and think about it. A lot of video game decisions for me are just like, I'm just going to do this. And that's what I'm going to do. But that one, I was like, I got to think. I
don't know what the consensus is on the end. I know that it's very divisive, but I don't know what the consensus is on what's like the the correct ending or whatever.
Which I think is a credit to it. I think it being divisive is interesting. I think that's to its credit. That's a very good aspect of the game. It doesn't do everything perfectly story-wise. It definitely does not. But I do think it raised a good question at its end. And I think there's something to be said about that.
But I didn't view them as like, oh, it's not real. I viewed their lives.
They
as,
are, yeah.
I mean, like you dig so much into their backstory. Like,
sure,
CL's backstory is so tragic.
But it never happened. She's very good.
Yes, it did. It did happen. It's real. Like, if your life was a computer simulation, you would not view it as real.
No.
Do you think God is needed for your life to have meaning?
No. But what I'm saying is that in the context of
real,
this
they
world,
experience it.
This world was
give life.
You're just
like, yes.
I didn't hear anything you just said. Go ahead.
I don't understand how you wouldn't view their lives as real in any capacity. Like, they experience things, they feel things. Yes, new lives are painted, but like it's very similar to how religion is viewed. Like, God is creating us in that context. Yeah, so I don't see how it's different.
To be fair, I get what you're saying, Westen. I understand where you're coming from on that. No, there is in their world they are real, and that's a big thing, right? Like that's this is almost getting to the point of a discussion where I'm like, I'm not stoned enough for this, so I don't know. But the fact that it raises these discussions, I think, is a credit to the game. Where I think it lands number 3 for me is like I said, I don't think everything's perfect, and nothing is, but like, okay, they kill, like, Gustav gets murdered at the end of chapter 1. At the time, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there's a lot of places in the storytelling where I felt like it needed just one more chapter, and I don't know what you put in those chapters per se, but like it needed a little bit of space to breathe here and there. Because I strongly felt, especially towards the end of the game, when it came time for everything to happen, things were popping off, I very much felt as I could feel the Final Fantasy VII in that game, like original Final Fantasy VII, where it's like at some point we off a party member, and it'll be fascinating because it'll be the main character. I think there's a really cool idea there for sure. Whether or not I had enough time to really get behind that character, I questioned, and that was me. But I feel
I 100% agree with you, because it's funny too, because like I almost felt like Psycho Mantis, because it's like, oh, you like Final Fantasy VII, don't you? To the devs, right? Like just playing this game, and it's like, yeah, you're trying to do an Aerith thing, but there's
a lot of the layout itself, like you can look at going back to Lumiere as almost like going to the Northern Cave, where it's like, okay, this is the final chapter, it's right there, but here's all the side content that you can do now. Right. Like it felt very much in that vein, and I admire that. I do. I love Final Fantasy VII as much as the next guy. But maybe not the next guy. Who knows? Anyway,
but like I felt that like and I'm all for killing off a main character. I think that's rad.
I think it's great. I think more games. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I think more games should be brave enough to do stuff like that, or kill off like parts of the main cast, if not the main character. I just think that it wasn't time in the story. Like and I think that that story would be better if there was like Gustav and Verso together, and Gustav is the one like grilling this dude that just like came into the party. And then Gustav gets killed, and maybe it looks like Verso did it or something, and there's like some like ambiguity there or something.
It's tough to say. But like where and my ultimate thing here is like we can, pick apart the story or build it up as much as we want. For me, why I think it lands where it does at 3 personally is mostly the gameplay stuff. Like
I just feel like there's enough improvements that they should make down the line. I don't know if they will, because the parry thing is very popular. And to be fair, that stuff is very satisfying. I just, in future, if they're going to do this whole thing again, I would like it to be a little less repetitive to a certain degree. And the no map thing bothers me on a personal level.
No, as much as I will defend almost every other aspect of the game,
Sure.
the map stuff bothered me. It bothered me because I loved finding the journals so much.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I loved every journal that I found.
Yeah.
And like, you don't know, like, you don't know if you found everything in a level.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to tell you that. And like, literally just a QO quality of life update where it's just like, hey, there's 2 expedition journals in the here. You found one. Like Shinobi,
Yeah, something
like the
that, yeah.
Shinobi levels have, that with every level. Like,
Right.
that would be awesome, because
That'd
then
be great.
even if I'm lost, at least I know, okay, I just got one more thing to find, because I would have loved to find all those, but I was not gonna. I'm pretty anti-guide when I'm playing games, and I wasn't gonna do that. But I definitely like the combat a fair bit more.
Yeah, and that's fair.
I love how, I mean, in a turn-based RPG, to have characters that have such different systems is so. I don't know if I've played a game with as different as these characters are.
That part is very cool.
Yeah, okay.
And
I also
some of the. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because in my replaying at this time, one of the things that I like, because I'm playing it on normal now instead of easy. Because I did, towards the end of, and eventually in easy mode, I got to where I was like parrying most of the stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I can probably do a pretty decent job at normal now, because I've got some of the timing down. But also this time around, I kind of had a better understanding from the beginning of like, oh, now I understand how the Pictos actually work, because it took me a while to really understand, like, oh, there's other stats to these that benefits you equipping them versus just having the ability itself, right? Stuff like that. And kind of like building the characters and also like looking, like not just building like this character, but then thinking about how they fit into the rest of the party. That stuff is all rad. And I wrapped my head around, I'm wrapping my head around it far better now on the second playthrough than I did the first time around. And I think that stuff is really cool. It's something that I think is sorely missing from a lot of turn-based RPGs.
Yeah. I think they built like a foundation with this game that can take them somewhere for sure. Like there's a lot of cool aspects to it. It needs like maybe slightly more variation, just level to level or encounter to encounter. I don't know exactly how you do all that stuff, but that's kind of where I land on it.
Build variety could have been. It could have been a little better. Like, I felt like so much stuff was built around the burn stuff, like when you're going through Pictos, and it's like, why isn't anything else? But I found, like, for Verso, I found the sword where you can attack twice, and then I just built my whole Verso around like buffs related to basic attacks. So like I could build him up to like max rank within a turn, because I was attacking like multiple times each turn. And it felt so good every time. I loved it. And like, I don't even think I was that good at the parrying, and I was still like just able to beat the game on normal with just my build and the way it set things up. So I thought they did a good job of making it so you could play it either way, which I respected.
I found it a little punishing, just like taking damage wise on normal. For me personally, I feel like there's a slightly better balance that they could hit there.
Because then on easy the damage is like ridiculously negligible, so it's like feast or famine.
It feels like there's an in between somewhere, and that's all personal preference, nitpicky stuff. Which is why I'm only bringing it up now. But overall, I think it's a fascinating game. I think it's a great. I mean, hell, we've talked about it for fucking however long now.
But it's below Yote, it sounds like, for everyone here but me. So it is what it is. It would have to be number 3.
For me personally, for me personally, that's where I land on it. Yeah.
I think it's a great game. I think it's a fantastic first effort from a new studio and also on a smaller budget compared to other games of its type. And I had said when we were talking about the Game Awards, right? I'm totally fine with them sweeping the Game Awards because it proves that people still have an appetite for RPGs, and I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel this way. I feel about this one the way I feel about Metaphor, which is that I feel that it's like a very like I've played games that are better than this.
Sure.
In the past, like I've played games with better casts, with better stories, with better battle systems, and the greatest of all time talk about both of these games, I just don't see it. Like I'm like, have you never played an RPG before? Is this your first RPG, and that's why you're having these thoughts?
You're always going to have, you know, the hyperbole because that's just where we land nowadays. You know,
I know.
It's always give it. My role of video games now is like, let's see where this lands in 5 years and see where people like when we start talking about all time stuff.
It was my number 3 of the 2020s when I did my ranks the other day or a few months ago. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just throw it out there. But
fair enough.
I'll say this though, there is a lot of one last thing on it is there's especially the campfire bonds. There's just so many small things that just like are so impactful. And when the game ended, I just kept thinking about this one conversation Verso has with Esqui, where he goes, "Hey, I noticed you never really talk about the real Verso with me," and Esqui kind of gives him like a roundabout answer, like, "Oh, well, there's you Verso, and there's another Verso," and it's a nice answer, but you can kind of tell like Verso's not 100% moved by it,
right?
And then the ending happens, you're like, okay, yeah, but it's like. Man, those campfire bonds, I know they're optional, but like really they're so easy to get. Minus
they are.
the last part of a couple. Like I viewed them as like part of the main story because it's almost impossible to not get them. And man, they're so like the CL one is so good too. Like man,
they are. I'm just saying that to me the cast should be way more questioning of things from Verso, and then that should be like up front and center in main cutscenes that you couldn't possibly miss. And yeah, like you're probably not going to miss any of the Bond stuff.
Sure.
But even then, when you do have the stuff and the occasional characters that do ask him questions,
right,
it's done in such a mealy-mouthed, coy way. I would probably feel way different about this game if Verso wasn't in the party. I think him being in there just fundamentally like fucks everything up for me. But I also just, you know, and I know this is like, I'm the outlier on a lot of stuff on this top 10. It's fine. Or this whole year, but like I just never cared for the cast, like just across the board. Fair. I thought they were fine. I think Gustav was probably my favorite character, but he didn't really like. It was funny because like I thought about when he died, I was like, he's like the Ninth Doctor in Doctor Who, because when I watched Doctor Who for the first time, I didn't really like the series. I was like, I don't know why people are so into this. And then right before the Ninth Doctor regenerated, I was like, man, I was just starting to dig you. And now I have to get to know this other asshole. Like, I don't want to get to know this guy. And he ended up being my favorite Doctor, like, overall. But it was the same thing here where I was like, man, Gustav, I was just on board with you. And now you're gone. And, you know, now it's like, I mean, yeah, this guy's Ben Starr, and that's really rad, but I don't know, you know, my favorite character part in the whole game is when Verso goes to recruit Minoko, and Minoko's like, no. And he's like, there's going to be fighting. It's like, oh, I'm in. Like that is my favorite exchange in the entire game.
That is good.
But otherwise, like the cast didn't really do anything for me.
You'll have that. I had my favorites in the cast. To be fair, I really liked CL. I thought she was great. I think
she has the best overall story.
Yeah, I really liked her overall story. I liked Gustav, and I thought he deserved a little more. Mael was interesting, especially with the, you know, her. I mean, she's basically the main character essentially. That stuff's fascinating. Maybe not my favorite thing ever, but like not bad. But yeah, I didn't hate the cast. I thought they were perfectly fine. I didn't like fall head over heels for anyone in it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, this is a good character. I like them, but like
to quote you, Justin, I thought they were a perfectly competent cast.
They were perfectly competent, yeah, for the most part.
When I was ranking my characters, like I do a character rank for my ranks at the end of the year as well, and it was interesting because it's like I call it best character, and it's like I put several Expedition 33 characters, like 1, 2, like Verso's my number 1.
Sure.
But I don't actually like love Verso. You know what I mean? Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like there's characters I'm like, yeah, man, I'll fight for Red. I'll fight for Barrett. I don't feel that way with Verso, but I just found him like very fascinating.
Sure.
And that's so yeah. It's I agree in terms of it. I agree in terms of like it's not like a lovable cast in that way. Outside of maybe CL and Loon was kind of cool.
CL's
but,
good.
Yeah.
She was a standout for me. Just one last thing. I guess I like those fireside the campfire conversation thing. I always thought it was really funny how I could just rattle them off one after the other.
Yeah.
I was like, how long is
Yeah,
this
they're not
night?
paced out well. Yeah.
It very much like would get into this bit where it felt like very old video games where it's just like, and then this thing triggered, and then this thing triggered. It's their first game. They're super going for, the Mass Effect bit, and I respect that. I really do. But like, I was like, I hope,
but in Mass Effect,
titles,
like you couldn't have those major conversations until like story had progressed,
right? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I in future, things, I will hope they pace those out just maybe a little bit more or something like that, so I can't trigger them all at once or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree.
Let me be very clear. I'm very excited to see what they do next.
Oh,
whether
100%.
it's a sequel to this directly, or if it's something completely different, or what have you. Like there's a craft to this, and there is a passion to this that is undeniable when you see it. One thing that I am very worried about, because they released a thank you DLC. There was a free thing that came out the night of the Game Awards.
Sure.
And it was very telling to me that like the combat that they added to that is like just the most bullshit stuff. And I'm like, this is where this series is going to go, and I'm going to be very annoyed.
Some of those side bosses, like the super bosses or whatever, I was like, the one I fought, I was like, I don't think I need to do all these. This is a
right.
little
And
much.
my worry is that's going to be like everything in the next thing, because like that was a concern I heard from a lot of like people in the Souls community when Millennia came out in Elden Ring, where they were like, we're worried that this is going to be the new bar where like every boss in like in upcoming FromSoft games is going to be at this level or higher.
You would hope that they don't do that. That would be
right.
Like, see, Souls is an interesting franchise because they always have that one super boss that everybody has to sit there and fight for however long. Like that's always a thing. But the ante always ups every game, which is fair because it's like, okay, here's the new optional big challenge over here, right? Like I'm fine with like hard ass bosses as long as I don't have to do it if I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think, and that's as long as both of those franchises stay on that route, which I think they will. I think they would. That would be a huge mistake in my opinion. I mean, Westen may disagree. He likes his games hard. I understand, but like I feel like that would be a huge mistake because that would turn off like a lot of casual gamers for sure.
They have difficulties, but I think they realize it, because I know even the easy was a little too hard, and for like I have a friend that really wanted to play it. She's just the navigation just being difficult, but then that too. So I know that they were working on that. So I'm optimistic they won't go that crazy. But my last thing on the game is just because we didn't talk about it all, is that the world map's awesome. I love the world map.
It was nice to see the return of a world map in an RPG.
And
I agree.
Like as much as I didn't like the exploration at times within levels, I loved, like, I think it still made my best exploration top 10 because I just love the world map, and there's like secrets within it, and it's so beautiful, and like music. Obviously, the music. We didn't talk about the music. Music's incredible.
Great.
I love
it goes without saying the music's
the combo, the music.
If we were only judging on music, fucking this would be number one. We wouldn't even be fucking talking about it. It'd be like, that's the best game music of the year. There's no debate. It's fucking great.
The combo, the music and the visuals for me, like is this ethereal vibe that I just thought was incredible. So but 3 and Yote 2, that is fine.
That's where I land personally.
All right, and then I think we've said our piece already about Yote. Okay,
I was
because we already locked it in.
When the Yote conversation was going on, I was like, is this? That's why I asked. Is this where Is this where it's being placed? Because I was like, I don't want to dive in if it's going to be placed somewhere else. And my deal is like, if I was comparing Hades 1 to Yote, I like Hades 1 more than Yote. If Hades 2 is better than Hades 1, then it would only make sense that Hades 2 is better than Yote, but I haven't played Hades 2. One of the things I liked about Ghost of Yote that I wanted to talk about that I did not mention in the discussion because I didn't know if it would be coming back up, was, and I talked about it on the last episode that I was on, which was the way that the story is told in little mini arcs I enjoyed. I also think that, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie Blue Ruin. Have you ever seen Blue Ruin?
No.
It's an independent film, but it's about the dead end of revenge, and how that doesn't go anywhere. Like there's no end to it, because in Blue Ruin, the guy gets revenge, and then they get revenge on him getting revenge, and now he feels compelled to get revenge, and it's just sort of like it's a flip flop back and forth through the whole movie until you realize like how futile revenge is. And I thought there was a little bit of subversion on the part of this game, to get into spoilers a little bit, where most games would celebrate the accomplishment of violence as you worked through the game. And I thought the game found a pretty good way to depict revenge as a dead end while still allowing you the satisfaction of killing a final boss.
Sure, yeah. I agree.
And I thought that was kind of one of the like sneak attack things about this game. And really that's where this game to me sang was in the things that surprised me, because a lot of it is like, oh, okay, this is a little bit like Tomb Raider. Okay, this is a little bit like Red Dead. Okay, even getting the thing out and looking across the land to find things you want to go to kind of had a Zelda-like quality to it. And it's sort of like, there were little things that I felt like I'd seen in other games kind of all smooshed into this one game. But where it found originality was in the confidence of its own storytelling. And I don't think you see that many games that sort of like, I think that's honestly, it's probably the thing that reminded me the most of Red Dead 2 was this confidence in the way that it was going to execute its story and the point that it had at the end of its story.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. I gotta pee. You guys keep going.
Okay. I was done.
Oh.
I could say one last thing on Yote after John's thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with John, and like, I just think I didn't expect to like Atsu so much. I ended up really liking her because I mean I didn't care about Jin at all in Tsushima, and just the way they use all these other characters to teach her things and just like give her more increasing depth, and it's just like it plays out like really well. Like it's like kind of a slow process, and it all feels very natural, and just like her, like you see her evolution, but it's like slow and subtle, and I thought it was really well done. I mean,
there was a lot of really great moments with her. There was one that made me tear up pretty good, and it was like a side story. There was a gambling den somewhere that I found. And like it had like a little quest when I stumbled upon it of this guy who like I can't even remember fully what it was. Like he got kicked out by these thugs, so you help him take it back, and then he thinks you're gonna like hold him up at the end because you're a hardcore mercenary and all this shit. And basically you prove to him like, no, I'm not gonna do that to you. I just wanted to help you out. But you can go back in, because it's a gambling den and because he's the owner, you can go back in and play the little like coin flick game with him. And he's really fucking good at it. But if I actually like randomly enjoyed that game, that little mini game, so I would play it all the time when I could. And I ended up finally beating him at it. And he had this little thing to say at the end because Atsu's mom taught her that game.
And he goes, yeah, this lady one day came in and, she was just this like unsuspecting housewife and she just cleaned all of us out. We had to ban her. She was so good. And like you figure out this very quickly. You're like, that was Atsu's mom. That was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that little bit was neat to me. Yeah, she was a really great character. I really liked Atsu much more than I thought I would.
It's funny looking at my ranks right now because I said Ghost of Yotei is basically my number 11.
Yeah.
This year, but like I have it at 3 for story. I had it at 6 for exploration. I had it at 2 for graphics.
Sure.
I had it at 4 for music, which was a big surprise to me because I don't remember caring about Tsushima's music all that much. Atsu's 4 for character, performance 4. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. I wish the stealth was better. I don't know why they like de-emphasized it and somehow almost made it worse.
Yeah.
I don't know why they had so many awful platforming sections.
As somebody who hates platforming, Weston, I didn't find them that bad. I thought they were pretty fine. Like I never had too much of a problem with them.
Weird game
so
to put rails. That in though.
Yeah. No, I'll agree.
It was so on the rails. Once in a while, the grappling hook would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't like the end of the world, but
I think for me, because it's so on the rails is why I don't mind it, because I hate platforming. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, I'm a platforming sicko. So
yeah, exactly. So that is just a difference between you and I, which I totally accept.
Yeah, like when I play on like Uncharted games, like I cannot stand the platforming in those games. Like I despise it. Yeah, so that would be it. That would be why. Yeah,
understandable.
But yeah, like I mean, even though it's my 11, like it surprised me, and I totally respect that game in a lot of ways that I didn't expect to.
And I didn't have fun with the stealth until they gave me the chain sword thing, and I could just like grab people from way out and then pull them back. I was like, okay, now I'm having fun with the stealth. This is okay. I can do this. I'm having a good time now. I still usually would just walk into a camp, just like challenge everybody, like fuck it, let's just get this over with, motherfuckers. I'm done.
That reminded me of something, actually, and that's that I'm usually not good at games where you use every single button. And you do use every single button. And they baby step you into it where it's like you really don't learn the next thing until you have a pretty good mastery of the one thing. So when they start bringing other stuff in, you're already second nature on whatever it was that the thing they taught you before was. So by the end of the game, every single permutation, like hold this down to bring up the secondary menu of these, and like all that kind of stuff.
It's a lot of that.
It felt it was a whole lot, but the way that the game executes that, I never had a problem with it, and I'm bad at that kind of stuff. Like if you have menus within menus within menus that I have to hold multiple buttons to get a grasp on, I tend to suck at that. But I think again the timing. It was like timed release of a prescription medication. It's like, oh, okay, after 2 hours now, we'll introduce the next one. And that was a great way to do it for me, who is bad at games where it's please push every button.
Fighting dirty in that game never got old to me either. Like I would just take every dirty tactic. I was throwing fucking pocket sand at motherfuckers just every chance I got. Just kunai them. Dude, like I was having a blast. Just once I got the pistol, I was like, okay, now this is just stupid, and I'm just gonna shoot this guy because I don't feel like dealing with him, and that was fun to me. It was very Indiana Jones in a way, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei is pretty good. I like it.
Weston and Justin, before we get out of here, tell us about Hades 2. Our number one game of the year, because we haven't really talked about it in the formation of this list.
Yeah.
It was coronated before it began.
Yeah. Apparently it was. Yeah. I didn't know. I very could have easily come in here and been like, somebody hates it. And I'd be like, okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, we'll go with that. I really like Hades 2. That was the most fun I had with a game this year. Yes, it is a sequel to Hades, but it's like, to me, like a kind of a perfect sequel in its own way, where it's like, it feels like the same game you played, but also there's just enough different about it to where it feels like you're also playing a different game. And I really liked that. I wasn't super into like the main arc, but it was very much like Hades, where like as I was playing it, I was like, I don't know how into this I am storyline wise, but as it's going, I'm like, okay, no, all right, there's some stuff going on here. That's pretty cool. And I kind of like how the passage of time is represented, where like, you know, these characters are here now. You don't get to interact with them. This happened to this guy. He's just sleeping forever now. But this is the backup plan, and we're going with it. Is it going to work? We don't really know, but we're hoping it does. I like the relationship with the gods in this one. It felt interesting to me. I love a lot of the Hades 2 music. I don't love it as much as I liked Hades 1 maybe, but I still like a lot of the songs.
Same.
I especially like my favorite moment, bar none, is like when, and I don't know exactly how it triggers, but like when Artemis shows up at your camp and you just hear her singing in the background, and then you can walk over to her and like join in on the song, and it becomes this like really pretty duet between the two of them. Like that is awesome. Like I love stuff like that. That's what I'm here for. I fucking dug that so much. But like all the little bits with like Nemesis doing her own thing and not giving a shit, and then like kind of like subtly screwing you over on runs every now and then was kind of fun. That adding a little wrinkle to everything. Eris is a fun character as a boss. Like I loved the implement. Like what? As soon as I thought, I was like, okay, I'm getting pretty close to beating this first run. This is like almost has become too easy. Then they were like, well, hold on. There's another kind of run that we're going to introduce to you. And I was like, oh, this is a lot, actually. This is kind of cool. And at first I was like, oh, this might be like a secondary thing just to get some resources. And then slowly I figured out, no, this is a full other run that I have to do with sort different like bosses.
They did like Hades 2 and 3 into one game, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of wild. They combine it in a way that I found pretty cool, and yeah, like I dug Hades 2 a lot. I really did, and it never gets old to me, and never fails to amaze me just how much dialogue they can pack into there, like that seemingly never repeats. Like, sure, some of like Milinoe's like dialogue, like, you know, little battle dialogue and stuff will occasionally repeat, but most of that's just like her pointing out stuff to you, and that's fine. I would expect that to repeat. But like, God, like every time I talk to somebody, they always had something new or different to say. And that is always impressive to me. Even like there's on the Olympus runs, you can shrink her or make her bigger if you get a certain enchantment from a certain character.
Yes.
And all the like her voice changes accordingly, and everybody has different dialogue and treats you differently because you're bigger or smaller now. And like it's wild, the detail that they put into it. I love Hades 2.
Yeah.
Build variety, man. It's just like, I mean, you have extra, you know, compared to the first game. Now you have a charged special attack and a charged basic attack.
Yeah.
And it's so like you have roughly, you know, 5 basic moves, you know, in the game, and it's crazy. And then you have like, what, I think 6 weapons, and it's insane how every run I felt like I was building it around something totally different. Like I'd grab a new weapon, and then all of a sudden this run's all about my charge special, just because of the way things played out, or this run's all about my basic attack. This run is like my cast is hardcore, like a big thing of what I'm doing. Like, it's just every run between the weapons and the build variety was so different, and somehow I'd end a run and I'd be like, man, fucking loved my build in that run. Let's go. Oh, I got to restart though. Like, that's always the worst. And then like within like 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, I see the path for a build on this run. And unlike like Blueprints, like they made the RNG work.
Yeah.
Where it's just like somehow, like it never feels cheap, but somehow every run, if you stick with it, your build works out. Like there was, like, and when I play roguelikes, like it's just a common thing, like where you're just like, man, I can't wait to die because this run sucks. This build is, I'm making it, but this build's going nowhere. And that was never like, I think there was maybe 2 out of my whatever 50 runs or however many times I played the game where that happened, because somehow the runs always find a way to like feel good, and which is incredible. And yeah, the stuff, I mean, I wasn't as into the story. I think you talked about it before too.
I liked Hades 1 story a lot better.
Yeah.
100%.
There's just not the same personal factor.
Right.
You know, I mean, like fighting your father and all that. Kind of tough to top elements of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Melanoi's a great character, and all those interactions were great, but it's just telling that like I didn't care for that story as much, but like within the roguelike genre, it's probably still like the 3rd best roguelike story I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's a very hard genre to do that.
I still had a blast playing it, like every time. Like I could go back and play it right now and just be like, yeah, no, this is still fun. You talk about like the build variety, and like, yeah, that stuff is so great. Like even like when you're going for some of the duo builds, which I always shoot for those because they're just really fun and overpowered to a certain extent. But like my favorite little aspect was getting to the final guy or Typhon on the Olympus runs and going, oh shit, I have a build that just turns enemies against each other, and then figuring out like, oh, actually it still works because these ads are guys that will turn against him and they're just dealing constant damage to him. Oh, this is great. This is perfect. All I have to do is run away from him now. This is great. I'm loving this. Like, I like builds that like in other games, they wouldn't have accounted for stuff like that because they would have been like, oh, you have this thing that turns enemies against each other, but you're one-on-one with this guy, so that's useless now. Like, it somehow accounts for it. Like, even if it's on accident, it did. Like, it was great. I loved it.
The amount of different ways they give you to upgrade your character, but you, like, yeah, you do get overpowered, but you don't, you know, the upgrades aren't like, oh, your attack is better. You know, it's not that where it's just like, oh, you go into a run, it's like pointless in the first area. Like, it still feels just tough enough, like the way they set it up.
You always have to try.
And there's just like little things with like the way I forget what they're called, the artifact things that you take in, and like once you can start switching those in between levels and really start thinking about how you want to do it, and it's just like, you know, and the risk reward of going for more gold or whatever else. Like there's just so many cool elements that just keep you so engaged in every run. I think it's the best roguelike of all time.
It's great. It's really good.
It's awesome game. Man, Supergiant, they're really good, and
they're really good.
That game made me go like, man, they should do another sequel because man, they're really good at sequels, right? Like Bastion 2, Pyre 2, whatever the hell you. I don't want a Hades 3 personally, as much as I love this game. I literally think I don't see what they could do better at this point. Like they have. But yeah, give me Bastion 2, Pyre 2, Transistor 2, whatever. I would like to see another sequel.
Honestly, I would like just a whole new franchise from them, really, because I think they're really good at creating. Like even like stuff that, you know, wasn't as popular, like Transistor and stuff like that. Like that game has an amazing soundtrack, one of the best. But like that it has a vibe to it as well. That like, you know, like just they can take a lot of what they have in anything. I'm always curious what they're going to put out. Like it's constantly, at least, even if I don't like it, like Pyre is like not really for me at all. I've tried it a few times and I always seem to bounce off of it. But like it's still very, very fascinating. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it's like developers are so good at making sequels now because I feel like they have so many ways to get the feedback and like figure out the ways to fix things that people didn't like in the first game. And it's just, this is an incredible effort to do that. And it's just like, that's where I'm like, man, I'd like to see another sequel just because like, I want to see you guys improve on another formula because you guys have proven that you are incredible at this. So, but yeah, no matter what they do, it's going to be a must play.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a dev.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for Game of the Year. Let us go ahead and recap our top 10 for 2025. Number 10, Hell Is Us. Number 9, Hollow Knight Silksong. Number 8, Ball Pit. Number 7, Split Fiction. Number 6, Dispatch. Number 5, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Number 4, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Number 3, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Number 2, Ghost of Yote. And the Stage Select's Game of the Year for 2025 is Hades 2. Gentlemen, that is a ridiculous list. I love it.
It's great. The fact that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is in the top 5 is pretty fantastic to me.
I really didn't think that would happen, and I love John's analogy of it just being this sad puppy that we were just like, oh, come on, like, we'll go ahead and number 5, go, it's fine.
I liked enough stuff from that game to where I mean, on my personal list, it's pretty up there. Like, I'm not gonna
mine too.
Bullshit you. Yeah, it's pretty up there. So yeah,
I think Stage Select has now built up a pretty fun list of Game of the Years. Like we're at Octopath 2, Unicorn, and now Hades 2. Like that's not none of those. Like, I don't ever go into any ranker list thinking like, well, it's the consensus, so I don't want that as my number 1.
Right.
But like, none of those games are consensus Game of the Years, but they're all like I think undeniably games that no one would deny are fantastic and very well made. So it's a cool trio of games there, in my opinion. Be your 3.
Hey,
I think so too.
If Giant Bomb can put fucking Tetris Effect as their Game of the Year, I can put whatever I want.
But that is going to do it for this year. Westen, thank you so much for joining us. Big Nerd Gaming, go check out the blog, go check out the podcast. John Gholson, thank you all as always for being our announcer and being my friend. And be sure to check out Manfind's tape on VOD, available movie. Everywhere.
Excellent movie.
Oh yeah, Justin has seen it since the last time we talked.
I have, yeah. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was.
Justin, as always, pleasure to do this show with you. I appreciate you greatly as a co-host.
Yeah. As I told you at some point during something, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't keep showing up. So yeah.
Right.
I enjoy my time. I always do.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for this year of Game of the Year deliberations. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. Special thanks to Westen and John Gholson. We've been the Stage Select, signing off. Oh, and we get to rest.
We get to rest.
Goodbye.
Ye merry gentlemen.